Check 1, 2, 3. Good evening and welcome to the Game of the Week. Brought to you by your Oklahoma Ford. And a pleasant good evening, everybody, and welcome to your Oklahoma Ford Dealers Game of the Week. Tonight on YurView, we've got a big 6A2 matchup as the Stillwater Pioneers, with a record of 5-0, take on the Choctaw Yellow Jackets, who come in with a record of 3-2 on the season. I'm Steve Marshall. Dylan Rivera is alongside, and looks like we've got a good one on tap for this evening, Dylan.
Yeah, I think this is going to be definitely one of the bigger games here in 6A2. We've got Stillwater at 5-0 already, and Choctaw 3-2, not off to a bad start themselves.
Let's take a look at the standings that show exactly where we are right now. Stillwater with a very impressive victory last week over Midwest City. Beat them by a final score of 31-13. So you see they're up there at the top, along with Del City, the only two unbeaten teams in district play. And then you've got a logjam there in the middle with Midwest City, these Yellow Jackets, PC West, and Lawton all at 1-1 on the season. Of course, the top four teams qualify for postseason play. So everybody's fighting for what they think is going to be, a dogfight. You got to figure Lawton's going to be making some noise before the season is out, down there at number 6 right now on your list. So Stillwater, Del City, Midwest City, Choctaw, I would say Lawton. So that means 5 teams and really only 4 spots really to be given away.
Absolutely, and I think you're 100% on the money with Lawton. I think Lawton could easily climb up into those top 4 spots. Stillwater, I think, is easily going to make it in. I see Del City making it in. Midwest City definitely could get in there. So in my opinion, it's going to come down to Midwest City, Choctaw, and Lawton as those 3. And to me, Choctaw needs this win tonight to get into that real conversation.
Big game tonight, Stillwater and Choctaw coming up next right here on your Oklahoma Ford Dealers Game of the Week. Stay with us.
During Ford SUV season, find out why more people come back to Ford than any other brand. Here's a reason.
We've got room.
And here's another.
Waze says it's faster to take the side streets.
Perfect.
And by the way, Ford has won more J.D. Power Initial Quality Awards than any other brand. During Ford SUV season, get 0% for 72 months plus $1,000 bonus cash on Escape, Edge, and Explorer. See your Oklahoma Ford dealer today.
Are you looking for a career where you can work anywhere and even travel the world? Do you have a passion to work with people, plan events, or own your own restaurant? Tulsa Tech can help you build a successful career with exciting hospitality programs. Programs like culinary arts, restaurant and lodging management, and event planning. Make your own path to a successful career you love by calling Tulsa Tech at 918-828-5000 or apply online at tulsatech.edu.
Welcome back, everybody. Your Oklahoma Ford Dealers Game of the Week tonight here on YurView, and we're not too far away from kicking this thing off here tonight, live from Choctaw. Thanks for joining us and being along with us on the ride tonight as we get ready for another big contest here this evening and taking you all the way through the regular season and into the playoffs. Choctaw coming in, as we said, with a record of 3-2 on the season. We saw them a little bit earlier in the season on YurView when they took on Del City. They lost that game 22-20. Remember, that was a very good contest that we saw there. They also have victories earlier in the season. They opened up by winning in overtime over Shawnee 35-34. They beat Lawton Ike 35-14 before falling to Putnam North and then Del City, and then beating Putnam City last week by a score of 49-7. For Stillwater, their 5-0 record, they've beaten Edmond Memorial, Norman North, Southmore, Deer Creek, and Midwest City. So 3 6A1 schools in there. And as we're just about ready to kick it off, the ball falls off the tee. And that's the way we start this evening.
Oh, that speaks to the weather. We always talk about the weather early on.
That's right.
Windy. It's a windy day out there.
And warmer than it has been on some of the Fridays here in recent past. So
absolutely.
We're all set to kick it away.
I'm glad the football's tonight instead of tomorrow. It's supposed to be raining everywhere.
All right, Choctaw on the receiving end, going to take it at about their 8-yard line. Good coverage by Stillwater as they stop him in his tracks at about the 15 or 16-yard line, and that's where the Yellow Jackets will put it in play, 1st and 10. Their quarterback is Thad Williams. He's a junior. He's completed about 45% of his passes, 8 touchdowns and 3 interceptions on the season, and he'll mix it up with a couple of his running backs back there. Blake Muse has rushed for over 550 yards on the year, and Corey Williams has rushed for over 330 yards. So the Jackets will have the ball first as we are underway from the shotgun formation. Two wideouts to the near side. Now they send the running back in motion this way, and they're going to throw that wide receiver screen. Got some running room. Going to get near first down yardage. Finally pushed out of bounds. He got it across the 25, a pickup of about 9 on the play.
Yeah, great first run, a great way to set the tone. Right off the bat, a good run out to the right side. 9-yard gain gets Stillwater backtracking already.
So 2nd and 1 for the Jackets. Empty backfield for the most part, and again another quick pass to the near side as he crashes forward. He's going to get enough for the first down. Reception made there by Isaiah Sumlin. He's one of their big tight ends. So 2 quick receiver screen passes and a first down. New set of downs for the Yellow Jackets.
Well, we've seen throughout this season this offense has been pretty proficient, and they're not too bad about scoring and putting up numbers. They just have to find a way to put enough numbers to outscore Stillwater tonight, because Stillwater's offense is definitely going to come out on the other end.
Wide receiver screen this time to the far side of the field, and again that's going to be successful. Knocked out of bounds at about the 38-yard line, but they'll keep the clock rolling. It looked like, as I was watching that play develop, might have been a little holding out there by the blocking receiver. Now they go trips to the short side of the field, top of the screen. Choctaw coming out in their hurry-up offense. Stillwater shows blitz. They came across the line. Were they drawn off, or did they come across on their own? It's going to be encroachment. It's going to be called against Stillwater. So a good start here early for the Yellow Jackets.
Yeah, this offensive coordinator knows what he's doing, coming out and coming up with the hurry-up offense, getting everybody set on the line really quickly, making Stillwater think, hey, they're in a rush. They're trying to get down the field, then gets them with the hard count. Great play call just to try to get the defense off the line.
Same formation as the last play, and again another wide receiver screen. Good blocking downfield. They're using the 2 blockers up there, Dylan, at the top to block, and then the other receiver kind of takes a step or 2 back, gets the reception, and depends upon his blockers, and another first down.
Yeah, it's a little bit of a bunch formation with 2 in front of him and 1 behind, and it's just a screen pass to that one who's behind, and he's got 2 lead blockers right in front of him.
Right now at the 50-yard line. Couple of first downs already on the drive. Williams, short passes. He's on the money with them and complete to the far side this time. Out there, number 83, Cade Sanford on the reception. And he's going to get about another 5 yards. So if you're picking up 5 yards at a clip, that's going to lead to a lot of first downs.
I was going to say, you're saying he's proficient on these short passes, but no need to change it, no need to throw the bomb when you're getting good gains every single time out.
I believe that makes him 5 for 5 here on the start. And 6 for 6. Complete, far side. Not much of a gain on this one. Made it to the 45-yard line, and that's going to bring up a 3rd and about 5.
I think Choctaw was just going to try to run that until Stillwater could stop it. That was the 3rd straight time that they had gone out to that little screen to the left side. And Stillwater finally able to come up big with a play where they let him get past the line of scrimmage, and that's about it.
So 3rd down and 5 coming up. Need to get it to about the 40-yard line. 2nd down and 10. Running play up the middle. Good yardage. Gets all the way down to the 25, and that'll be another Choctaw first down.
Yeah, great run right up the middle, and we've seen a couple of good runs from the running back here, number 20. That's Blake Muse for Choctaw.
Impressive drive here to open things up. Keeping the clock moving. New set of downs, 1st and 10. From the Stillwater 35-yard line. Swing pass this time. In and out of the hands of Blake Muse, incomplete. And after going, I believe, 6 first 6, that one was dropped. And that was a case of the running back looking to see where the would-be tacklers might be and took his eyes off the football.
Well, and what's interesting to me is Blake Muse seems to be getting a lot of the first touches here on this first drive. But it seems like in previous games, Williams and Moore have kind of combined for the most touches from the running back position, and now seeing Muse get a lot of these touches, it's a little different.
Pass again complete. Good defense there. Number 18 coming up among others, Morgan Prawl, a 5'10", 160-pound junior or senior defensive back, is in there, and that's going to bring up a 3rd down and 8.
I think the big player to watch for Stillwater's defense is big number 44. That's Winston Watkins. He leads the team in tackles. He's got 2 sacks already on the year. He's somebody that definitely is a dangerous player for the Stillwater defense.
Good hard count right there again by Williams. Draws the defender off sides. He kind of dunked the center. So they'll mark off 5 yards there, and that'll make it 3rd and 3. Second penalty on the drive. Opening drive for the Yellow Jackets. Motion, handoff, Muse, nowhere to go, stops, starts again, goes to the left side, making something out of nothing. There goes Muse inside the 10, all the way down to the 5-yard line. Blake Muse with a nice run.
That's spectacular vision by the young running back. Goes out to the right, his blockers are all moving to the right. He stops in the backfield and sees there's nowhere to go, cuts it left, and creates maybe a 20-30-yard gain right there. Just seeing that hole is a great job from a high school running back.
So now 1st and goal for Choctaw. Muse is the tailback once again. Little play action pass thrown into the end zone, incomplete. And that'll bring up a 2nd and goal.
Hey, props to our cameraman. He was so far in there I thought he was on the field. It was a great job.
Clock stopped. Just under 10 minutes left to go here. Here comes the all-out blitz, but Muse is going to slip by and get into the end zone for the touchdown. Choctaw on the board first with an impressive opening drive, taking it the length of the field and getting into the end zone for 6.
Well, and I mentioned earlier, Choctaw's offense is really proficient, 32 points per game. And right here you see Stillwater's defense kind of stand up and get a running start at that offensive line. That's something you don't really see a lot, but here in the goal line area, it's something you see a little bit more commonly than anywhere else. That defensive line trying to get that push on the offensive line, but Muse able to slip through the defenders and dive into the end zone for the first touchdown of the game.
Extra point is good, so Choctaw, 1 possession, 1 touchdown. They lead at 7-0 on your Oklahoma Ford Dealers Game of the Week. We'll be back.
Weoki's new money certificate rates are incredible. Transfer money from another institution to a Weoki 35-month certificate and receive 3.05 APY. Yes, that's over 3%. And get a $100 cash bonus for new CD amounts of $100,000 and greater. Open your certificate with new money at Weoki and start earning incredible rates. Federally insured, rate and bonus are for new money only. Other terms and limitations apply. Contact Weoki for details.
Welcome back, everybody. It's your Oklahoma Ford Dealers Game of the Week. Choctaw took the opening kickoff, and they marched it about 85 yards and really were not stalled as they took it in. Number of screen passes to the wide receivers. Some great blocking, too, by Isaiah Sumlin, number 49. Of course, the offensive line getting their share of good hits in there and good blocks. And Blake Muse finding the end zone on the 5-yard touchdown run. And Choctaw takes the early lead 7-0 as they get ready to kick it away to Stillwater.
Well, something football fans here in Oklahoma have probably become accustomed to is we don't see a lot of defense. And Stillwater, in my opinion, is not a defensive team. We're going to see the real power of Stillwater here in just a second as their offense will come out on the field. It's 5-0, and that really reflects their offense, if you ask me, more than anything.
All right, so they're set to kick it away. Taking care of the kicking duties. Number 30 is Jonah Zook. Puts a foot into it. It's taken by Stillwater at about the 15-yard line. Out across the 30, has some running room along the near sidelines, finally pushed out of bounds. Have to stop and wait and see exactly where they're going to mark that on the return. Number 9, Anthony Bland, one of their outstanding receivers. Looks like they're going to put him right at about the 40-yard line.
I'll tell you one thing, it takes a pretty big leg to take just about 3 steps into that kick and knock it all the way to the 15-yard line. That's a good leg on that boy.
Stillwater comes out, and they are putting up points on the season as I look at their numbers. 46 points per game. Gunnar Gundy, Mike Gundy's son, is the quarterback. He's thrown for 1,100 yards and 12 touchdowns on the season. He's a left-hander. But the first play from scrimmage is a run. Quantrell Walker, a sophomore, is going to be somebody to watch all night long. He's up near 1,000 yards rushing, and we're just halfway through the season. So that gives you a little bit of what he's made of. They list him at 5'8". Some people say maybe not even that tall. He's 190 pounds, and that's a well-put-together bowling ball, if you will.
Yeah, that is a broad kid. I got to say, this offense has weapons everywhere. The wide receivers are all really talented. The big one to watch today is Bland. You mentioned him a little earlier. Gundy's a great quarterback, and Walker's a great running back. So putting it all together, this offense is really high-scoring offense.
Gain of 1 on the play, trying to get to Bland here on the quick pass, a little high. Gundy may be feeling a little heat from the backside that time, and the pass goes incomplete, and that'll bring up a 3rd down and 9 situation. Got some pretty good size on that offensive line as well. Big number 67 out there, Sam Smith, 6'5", 270. Number 78 up front for Stillwater, Jackson Howell. He's 5'10", 225. Number 73 is Holden Brown. He's listed at 6 foot and 280. He's just a sophomore. Gundy, play action, fires, near side, caught. That's a 1st down and then some inside the 40, down at about the 39-yard line on the pass completion there to Anthony Bland.
Now we're seeing Bland already going at some of these corners. Gabe Johnson got in his face right after the last play and made sure he knew that he didn't catch that ball. And right after this one, you see Bland make the catch, go for a little bit of yak there, and gets up and says something right to Gabe Johnson. So I think that's going to be an interesting matchup all night long.
So just like that, already Stillwater at the Choctaw 39-yard line with the new set of downs. 1st and 10. Gundy barks the signals, turns and gives. Walker hit, bounces off that, picks up another 3 or 4 yards. Line of scrimmage was about the 38-yard line. He's going to get about 6 on the carry.
Now you talk about that 190, and that's where it comes into play right there. 190 is hard to bring down, especially when it's coming with momentum at you. Pads down. It's tough to bring that down.
See the offense looking to the near side. Tucker Bernard is the coach at Stillwater. They've had a good run of success while he's been there. Of course, making the move down to 6A2 has benefited a lot of schools. These two in particular for the time being, and of course Bixby, Lawton, Midwest City, those schools have been there fighting for state championships in the last couple of years. Here's Walker and another carry that's going to get him inside the 30-yard line. That's going to be close enough to a first down, I do believe. Booker T. Washington in that group also of teams that have kind of fallen down from that 6A only class when they took the 32 largest teams. They split that in half, and the largest 16 became 6A1, and the next 16 became 6A2. Bill Jensen Field here at Choctaw. Guess we're waiting for... Oh, there was a flag. I was thinking there was a measurement still to be had, but such is not the case. They will give him the first down. And so the Pioneers are on the march as well. Just under 8 minutes left to go here in this first quarter. Opening kickoff. Choctaw took it length of the field, put it across the end line for 7 points. And Stillwater trying to answer back with the same.
Yeah, if you like offense, this is the game for you. I don't think there's going to be a whole lot of stops here tonight.
Gundy looks over the defense. Hands again. Walker straight up the middle. And he's hit, but then still drives forward. Gets about another 3 yards. They're finally going to take him down at about the 22.
Well, see, what I like right there from the Choctaw defense, that was number 3, Gabe Johnson. He got low and he wrapped up. And we've talked about this in the past. It bothers both of us when we see those players try to make the big highlight hit and just put their shoulder into them or just shove them. When you see them wrap up, it's so much better because you see them actually bring the runner down more often than not.
We look at how much size advantage that Stillwater has up front. Their O-line against the D-line. Here's a fade to the far corner looking for Bland, and it is caught. Did he get his feet down? It looks like he did. Touchdown for Stillwater as they answer right back.
Yeah, and on that throw, I thought to myself, man, Gundy really threw that one way up there. He must be trying to get him up top, and right there just threw it off to the back shoulder is what it was actually. From this angle, you can't really tell, but hits him on the back shoulder where only his receiver can get it. That's a great throw from Gundy, well placed, and Bland's got an easy walk into the end zone right there.
Bland 6'3", 187, big target at the high school level for a wide receiver. Catches it, now waiting for the extra point to try to tie this ball game up. Uriah Kirby in for the extra point attempt. Snap is back, ball is down, and the kick is up and through. We got 6:52 left to go here in the first quarter of play. Both teams have had the ball once. Both teams have scored touchdowns. We're tied 7 apiece here on your Oklahoma Ford Dealers Game of the Week.
During Ford SUV season, find out why more people come back to Ford than any other brand. Here's a reason.
We've got room.
And here's another.
Waze says it's faster to take the side streets.
Perfect.
And by the way, Ford has won more J.D. Power Initial Quality Awards than any other brand. During Ford SUV season, get 0% for 72 months plus $1,000 bonus cash on Escape, Edge, and Explorer. See your Oklahoma Ford dealer today.
Welcome back, everybody. Well, we thought we might have a good one, and to this point so far, that's exactly what we do have. 2 possessions, 2 touchdowns. As Choctaw took it down the field first, and then Stillwater answered right back. 22-yard touchdown pass from Gunnar Gundy to Anthony Bland. And wouldn't you know that Mike Gundy would have a quarterback son named Gunnar? Only fitting, right?
Yeah, absolutely right.
So Choctaw ready to kick it off. And we'll wait to see which team is going to make the first stand on defense. Looks like we may have a shootout here tonight at Bill Jensen Field. On the kick return, getting it out across the 25-yard line. Return man there for Choctaw, number 3, is Gabe Johnson, junior cornerback, wide receiver. And the Jackets will set it up again, 1st and 10. And they just continually ran that wide receiver screen, I want to say for maybe 6 of the first 7 plays, or maybe it was 6 in a row, that got them started. Stillwater made some adjustments, and then so did Choctaw, and they were able to finish off the drive and get a Blake Muse 5-yard touchdown run to take what was then a brief lead before Stillwater answered back.
Well, and if you've been with us through most of the season, you know that Choctaw is for real. We saw them play Del City, and they can take down these big teams, as they only lost to Del City by 2. So playing up against Stillwater, this is a challenge of sorts, but at the same time, this is a challenge that I feel like these Yellow Jackets can definitely conquer. And so coming into this game, I think Choctaw has to have at least a little bit of confidence on the field. And with that, they think they can score all over the Stillwater defense, which I don't think they'd be wrong in saying that.
Pick up a 4 on the play. Williams with a quick throw, almost intercepted. Oh, he did get it.
He did.
I think he went down. He was hoping to get back up and run with it, but obviously couldn't do that once the knee touched. So an interception and a turnover, as Williams was looking for his wide receiver, and a nice job to take it away by the Pioneers.
Well, it wasn't a great throw. It wasn't the best throw that you'll ever see. It was definitely off target, but just a great effort there by number 24 for Stillwater, Cedric Frazier, to get his hands on the ball, because, I mean, it was headed straight for the turf, and he's able to get underneath it and catch it with 2 hands. Great job by the player.
So the first turnover of the ball game. Great field position at the Choctaw 32-yard line for the Pioneers. Gundy, play action. Has to pivot out and roll to his right. Again, he's a left-hander, and he's going to pick up some nice yardage, get it inside the 30, down to, they say, the 27-yard line. So that's going to be a pickup of 5 on the carry. On the scramble, if you will.
I thought I saw a hold, but I guess there's no call there. Looked like one of the offensive linemen was trying to get a last-second effort in to help Gundy in the pocket, but was kind of behind his man. But I think he got away with one. And so they'll probably be counting their blessings as they step up to the line here.
A warmer Friday night than what we've had most recently as the calendar turned to the month of October since we last joined you. Stillwater on the drive, looking at a 2nd down and 5 inside Choctaw territory. Handoff to Walker, and this time he doesn't get much. Gets it to about the 25-yard line. And that's going to bring up 3rd and 3.
How about that matchup on the offensive line? 67 for Stillwater. You mentioned him earlier. That's Sam Smith, 6'5", 270. And in just a second ago, he was blocking number 78 for Choctaw, Jaden Muskrat, who is also a pretty big kid.
3rd and 3, and Choctaw jumped on the far side. Stillwater clapping, so it looks like Stillwater has drawn them off, and they'll get the 5 yards on the penalty, and that'll give them a new set of downs.
Yeah, we've seen this 3 times now tonight. Just the hard count, getting the defense to jump off sides, and a great job by both quarterbacks so far tonight doing that.
So 1st and 10 now at the Choctaw 20-yard line. Let's see what the Pioneers want to dial up next. Gundy, straight handoff. Walker with a big surge up the middle, just massive movement up there, and it didn't look like a whole lot, but close to 6-yard gain in the play.
Well, 3 men in the backfield with Gundy. He had 2 lead blockers coming from the backfield on top of the fact he already had his offensive line in front of him. All those blockers plus a 190-pound running back, you're going to end up getting some yardage out of that.
And he doesn't wait and look for the hole. He is one of those that puts his head down and he is going forward. Full bore, no doubt about that.
Yeah, absolutely right.
2nd down and 5. Gundy looking for the corner. Here comes the blitz. Choctaw in pursuit. Throws it towards the end zone. In the corner, it's caught, but I don't think he had his foot down. He does not.
No, I don't think he was in bounds at all, but a great effort and a great catch. I mean, all around, that was a great job by the Stillwater offense to at least try to get something out of that. It was definitely a dead play, it looked like it. I mean, defense was all in the backfield, and then throw it upstairs to Bland where only Bland can get it. And he comes down with it, but no feet able to touch the blue turf there.
Great effort.
Absolutely.
But unable to come down, as you said. So now 3rd down coming up, 3rd and 5.
Well, and if I'm being honest, I don't think Gabe Johnson's doing a bad job of covering Bland either.
Yeah, he was right there with him in the corner. Flags coming from all directions now. I have to admit I didn't see anything, but they obviously did down on the field. It's going to be a procedure penalty called against the Pioneers, so that'll march them back 5. That'll bring up a 3rd down and 10 now from the 20-yard line in Choctaw territory.
We've seen Choctaw get some pressure on Gundy here in this first quarter. You got to wonder if they're going to bring some more heat at him as it's 3rd and long.
We can tell that he likes Anthony Bland, his primary receiver. Came into the contest, 23 catches, 468 yards, and 4 TDs. Already cut a touchdown pass here tonight. And this time going to throw towards the left side, looking for Bland again. And the pass is incomplete. Bland wearing those yellow gloves, and again, it's always something you look and you see and you think there's a penalty flag flying somewhere, but pass is incomplete. Nothing further to report as far as a penalty, so that's going to bring up a 4th down and 10 situation. Let's see how Stillwater wants to play this or how much faith they have in their place kicker.
Well, we just talked about over the last commercial break, I don't think that Stillwater has attempted a field goal before the last game. Their last game they got one up and it was 31-13 as the final score, so I believe there was one made in that game, but before that I don't even think they attempted one.
Gundy on the roll, throws, passes, knocked down, incomplete, no flag on the play, and so Choctaw holds on and they'll get the football turned over on downs.
I'll tell you one thing for sure, these refs are letting them play football today. It doesn't seem like there's a whole lot to be called. I mean, we've had some false starts and some encroachments, but nothing more than that, it seems like. There's no, pass interference, no holding. It's just, hey, let's go out, let's play some football tonight.
So both teams got touchdowns on their first possession. On the second possession, Choctaw threw an interception. Stillwater turns it over on downs. Yellow Jackets with the football. There's the wide receiver screen once again. And that's going to get about 2 yards. Not much there as Stillwater is starting to wise up to exactly what it is. And the surprising thing to me is they're lining it up and running from the short hash to the far side of the field.
Yeah, it's a little interesting there. I think that one was more of just to get Thad back into the game. Thad Williams, comes out last possession and throws an interception. Clear his head, get him an easy completion, and get that interception out of his mind and just say, hey, we're coming out there, this is a new possession. So that screen pass gets him one connection and just says, hey, you got that completion. Let's get back into the rhythm of it.
And then Muse gets the 2nd down carry. He gets out across the 30-yard line. That'll be enough for a 1st down for the Yellow Jackets.
How about Thor on the Yellow Jackets offensive line over there? Cade Kelly, 65.
We do have a flag. It's going to be against Stillwater. So I don't know if it was called, or obviously it was called against Stillwater because they're telling them it's a 1st down. If it was something that they just went ahead and declined, or if they're going to still tack on some yardage there. Picking up the flag is the signal from the referee. No penalty, but it is a new set of downs for the Yellow Jackets. 1st and 10 from their own 31. Again, Williams. Looked like they had a bead on the receiver there. Is number 5 for Stillwater, Sean Preston. Read it, was back there in a hurry, but just couldn't bring him down. He was able to squirt forward for a couple-yard gain in the play.
Yeah, and again, going off to that screen pass over there on the short side of the field, you're absolutely right. It just keeps going to that weak side. And you got to wonder if there's a reason why they don't ever bring it to this other side.
Yeah, they started off the first couple of plays, went to the far side of the field, or maybe they were on the far hash mark. My memory doesn't serve me that well. It looks like we have another penalty. I'm not sure what the call is, but they're moving in Choctaw's favor, and it looks like it's a big one. It's going to take it out to near midfield, just inside Stillwater territory.
Interesting. I didn't see what happened.
3 receivers, top of your screen once again, short side of the field. Thad Williams, your quarterback. Takes it, gives to Muse. Big hole up the middle. Muse buries one of the blockers. Runs him clean over, and he's going to get it inside the 40-yard line to about the 39, and he ran over somebody in that secondary.
Yeah, Sean Preston tried to step up and make the hit. How about Blake Muse lowering the shoulder, and boom! Goes right through him.
Yeah, that's how you do it right there.
That's a strong run right there.
So another 1st down for Choctaw. Pass again, far side, complete. And this was obviously their game plan coming in. We saw Choctaw earlier. I remember them running some of this type offense, but this is something they must have seen in the film, what they were able to do against Stillwater, and to this point, it's worked quite well.
I think you're absolutely right. I mean, I don't think Choctaw ran it near as much against Del City. I mean, I think I would have remembered that, saying, hey, they just ran the screen pass the whole time. But so far this game, that's been game plan is just throw it out to that wide receiver in the back of the bunch formation.
And flags again. And if they were able to get them to jump off, I mean, they have just been executing, other than the interception. But this is going to be a false start called against Choctaw. It's been just about a flawless run on offense for the Yellow Jackets.
Pretty sure the ref just told the quarterback he can't stomp his foot to try to get them to jump off. And so that was what the false start was called against. Was quarterback Thad Williams stomping his foot and clapping at the same time.
All right, let's see what we get here now with a 2nd down and 8 situation. Running play, dropped nearly at the line of scrimmage. Maybe he's able to get forward for 1 yard on the play. Nice job by the Stillwater defense to make the stop. Number 55 coming up making the play. That's Trevor Benham. And that would bring up a 3rd and 9 situation.
Well, and it's an interesting play call here for Choctaw. Do they get away from what they've been doing now just because it's a long 3rd down attempt? Do you still go to that screen pass? Do you maybe try to get a little bit more yardage? Here it is.
Looked like he was trying to hit Sumlin, maybe a little bit behind him. The ball falls incomplete. That'll bring up a 4th down and 9 at the 39-yard line in Stillwater territory.
It was an on-target pass, a little bit. It wasn't perfectly on target, a little bit behind, but at the same time it was there. And as they say back in the old days, you touch it, you catch it. And he had 2 hands on it, just didn't come up with it.
So they're lined up in punt formation, even though they're at the Stillwater 39-yard line. This would really be playing field position. They want to just pooch this, hang it up high, whichever. Oh, and they get the great bounce, because otherwise it wasn't going to be a very good kick. As it is, they're only going to pick up 19 yards on that kick, but it falls dead right at the 20-yard line, and that's exactly where Stillwater will have it. 1st and 10, we're all tied up, 7 apiece. So Stillwater now with their offense. Again, both teams scored on their very first possession. Choctaw threw an interception on their 2nd. Stillwater turned it over on downs on their 2nd, and then we just saw Stillwater hold Choctaw. This is the 3rd possession for Stillwater, and the give goes to Walker in the backfield, and he maybe gets a half yard on the play.
Choctaw's done a great job of beating up on this Stillwater offensive line. They found a way to get to Gundy. They found a way to close up those holes for Walker, and they've done a great job of just being in position and playing that defensive line very well, especially those linebackers actually coming in on those blitzes as well. It looks great for those front 7.
Gundy dropping to throw, blitz is on, he throws and just heaves it for the sidelines. Nobody really out there. The only one for Stillwater was number 17, Michael Lovitz. But Gundy just got rid of that one because I believe there was probably 7 or 8 guys that were blitzing on that play. So 3rd down, let's call it 10 for the Pioneers. From their own 20, Gundy going to roll it to the right. Throws off of his back foot once again. Oh, diving attempt, incomplete.
Well, right there, I think that was just Lovitz thinking he was a little bit closer to that sideline than he really was. It looked like he kind of stopped his momentum. Probably had another 2-3 steps he could have taken before hitting that sideline. Just kind of stopped his momentum. Obviously, just a little bit more field awareness could have gotten him that catch there.
Then apparently a holding call against Choctaw declined, and that'll bring up a 4th down punting situation for Stillwater from their own 20-yard line. Different looking punt formation.
That's not a punt formation, I don't think. That looks like Gundy in the back. Well, maybe Gundy's the punter. What's going on here?
They just wanted to take a look at it. So now they're lined up to kick it away. Looks like he got a pretty good foot into that one.
Oh.
Takes a big bounce for Choctaw. Looked like it hit it about the 40 and goes all the way back to the 33. And great field position for the Yellow Jackets as they'll have it 1st and 10 at the Stillwater 33-yard line with 2 minutes left to go here in the first quarter of play, all tied 7 apiece.
I think Mike might have to work with his son about punting the ball a little bit. That one right there took a bad bounce, came right back for Choctaw, and they get an extra, maybe like you said, maybe 10 yards or so out of the punt.
So good close game thus far. Let's see exactly what the Yellow Jackets want to do on this possession. And the very first play is a handoff. That's going to be a loss on the play. The handoff there going to Deshaun Moore as he gets his first carry of the night, and that's going to be a loss of probably 2 in the play. From their Stillwater 36-yard line, Pioneers showing blitz. Running play up the middle. Moore once again. He'll get a couple of those yards back, get it inside the 35, down to about the 34, nothing more.
Yeah, I talked about Deshaun Moore and Corey Williams in the past games have been a little bit more, excuse me, a little bit more of those heavy load players. They've been getting a lot more work than Muse has. And here tonight, Muse really has just been getting all the touches.
Well, he had been until this drive here. Now Muse back in and shifting going on, and we got a flag once again. Referee's going to come over, and he's going to give us the signal here. So he talks with the back judge. It's going to be a procedure penalty called against Choctaw. So that'll march them back the other way.
I'm not sure where Choctaw slipped up on that play.
Yeah, I didn't see it either.
Nonetheless, that is the call.
So 3rd and 16 now for the Yellow Jackets. And remember, they just punted from the Stillwater 39 moments ago. That's exactly where they are right now.
Well, it was a 3rd and long when they threw a little bit of a slant route, maybe a post route to number 49 there. That's Isaiah Sumlin. Pass fell incomplete, and that's what led to that punt. We'll see if it's a similar play here.
Williams going to pull it down and run with it straight forward. Picks up about 2 yards on the carry. And that's going to leave them in a 4th and very long situation as we tick down the final 30 seconds of this first quarter of play.
Did almost kind of look like they did run the same play. It looked like they just kind of flipped it. Cade Sanford ran that same route that 49 Sumlin ran last time around on 3rd and long. Both times falling short, and it'll be a punt for Choctaw, I'd imagine.
All right, so that'll be the end of the first quarter of play. We're all even, 7 apiece on your Oklahoma Ford Dealers Game of the Week. We'll be back.
Good morning, Bella.
Good morning.
Are you ready?
Yeah. 5 little monkeys.
Yay, Bella!
Hold still. Almost done.
Oh, Bella, I really
love playing with you.
Thanks, Grandma. I really like our visits.
Whatever tech tomorrow dreams up, you'll be ready with GigaBlast. Future speed internet is here from Cox.
No one thinks about their water heater until it fails.
At that point, you have a huge mess on your hands with water damage everywhere.
A planned water heater replacement can save you a lot of trouble.
Right now, you can save big on a new high-efficiency water heater.
Call Airco Service,
the company you know.
Welcome back, everybody. Second quarter action coming your way. Should be a 4th and 14 situation coming up here for the Yellow Jackets. Lined up again in punt formation. A lot of shifting going on. See what they plan to do here. And it's blocked. That was a strange decision, as he looked like he was going to rugby punt it, and it's finally recovered by Stillwater at about their own 36-yard line. I'll let you describe that.
I'm not really sure what happened there. There was a shift that moved Coleman back into the backfield, which as soon as I saw that, I thought to myself, Coleman is going to throw the football here. And then all of a sudden he goes for a punt. It's blocked. And then I guess maybe Choctaw thought it was a dead ball after that, because I saw 2 or 3 of them just kind of standing there looking at the ball. And Stillwater eventually falls on it. So, I mean, you're going to have to watch that play over yourself and try to figure it out, because I don't know if I can.
Yeah, that's crazy. All right, 1st and 10 for the Pioneers. All tied at 7 apiece. Pass to the far side, complete. And out to the 45-yard line on the reception, number 41, Michael Dobbins. I believe it was 41. 81. Looks like it was 81, Cal Tracy on the reception. Picked up 9 in the play. That'll bring up 2nd down and 1.
Well, it's kind of interesting. We talked about both of these offenses being really good. Both teams only come out to 7-7 start. Only 1 touchdown for both teams. I think it's kind of surprising to me, at least. I figured there'd be more scoring at this point.
Well, the way it started, you would have. Here's a pass that's complete once again. Cal Tracy on the reception across midfield into Choctaw territory. Finally taken down at about the 47.
Well, if I'm his teammate, I'm tapping him on the helmet right there. That was a great job. It took 4 Yellow Jackets to bring him down. It takes a lot.
We're just underway here in the 2nd quarter. Both teams scored on their first possession. And then everybody settled in. The defense has gotten a little stingier. Running play left side. Nice hold there for Walker. And Walker is going to pick up some nice yardage. Get it all the way down to the 42, maybe 43-yard line. Going to spot it right at the 42. As you can see, the Pioneers looking to the sidelines for the play call. Keep an eye at the top of your screen, number 9. That is Anthony Bland. He is the go-to wide receiver, all 6'3", 187 of them. Running play, Walker trying to back his way forward. He's not going to get much. Good job by the Choctaw defense that time, as they stacked up and drove him back.
Well, I figured that play call would come, a run up the middle and see if you can just make it at least a short yardage gain to where it's a 3rd and short, or hopefully, as if you're Stillwater, hopefully get that 1st down. But if you can't come up with a 3rd and short, you're not sitting too bad.
So 3rd and 4 is what it is at the Choctaw 41-yard line. Gundy takes the snap, throws, looking for Bland. Pass is incomplete. No flag on the play, and that means, well, that means they'll have a 4th down, and then you can decide what's going to happen here, because it's been hard to figure out what the team's going to do when placed in this type of situation.
Well, and you see after that play, Bland came up livid, and again, I talked about it seems like they're just letting them play football here, and so it ends up being that 4th and 4, and as you say, these 4th downs have been very weird so far tonight. And I think just 4th and short, you're at the 40-yard line. I think the Stillwater Pioneers are going to go for this one.
See if they don't just try to draw them off. That would be my first guess. Nope. Straight snap, Gundy to throw. In trouble and taken down. Sacked on the play. Number 50 for Choctaw gets in. That's Jelani Thayer. And among others, he is in there to drop Gunnar Gundy for the sack and the loss on the play, and the Yellow Jackets will get good field position at their own 49-yard line.
Yeah, Mason Bustle also got in there on the hit. Those two combined for the sack, and I mean, it was just a matter of time. Choctaw was in the backfield on plenty of snaps tonight for Stillwater, and that offensive line is definitely going to get it on that sideline. As the offensive line coach, I'm sure the offensive coordinator and even maybe head coach Barnard is going to step over and say, hey guys, we've got to pick up the intensity, and we got to start getting some blocks up.
Running play. Give is to Muse, and he squirts forward for maybe a yard at the most. Gets it right to midfield. Yeah, as you said, it looked like it was going to be a shootout when this thing started. But we've had no points since each team's opening possession. Right at midfield. 2nd down and 9. Williams again to Muse. Muse finds a hole, goes up the middle. Muse into the secondary. Great skip move around the 30, then loses the football. It's kicked and finally recovered, and Stillwater comes away with the football.
Well, that's a highlight for halftime right there. We need to make sure we keep that one for later.
That
was a great run up the middle to start off the play. And then a great juke move. You talked about that quick stop. He lets that corner, that defensive back, just go sliding by, almost kind of a Superman-ish flyby. And then right after that, the ball poked loose by one of the defenders out there. Didn't quite see who got it. Number 20 for Stillwater got a hand in there. It didn't even look like he was really going to be able to make the hit, but he gets that hand out there, gets a hand on the football, knocks it loose, and the upcoming Choctaw Yellow Jackets, I don't think they realized that the ball was on the ground, and Stillwater able to recover in a 1st down now for the Pioneers.
Kobe Holly forced the fumble. As again, it was a great run, and a couple of really even the second jump move was good, but that's when the turnover took place, and we've got a timeout, it appears, on the field with 8:45 left to go in the 1st half. We're all tied 7 apiece. Stillwater and Choctaw on your Oklahoma Ford Dealers Game of the Week.
During Ford SUV season, find out why more people come back to Ford than any other brand. Here's a reason.
We've got room.
And here's another.
Waze says it's faster to take the side streets.
Perfect.
And by the way, Ford has won more J.D. Power Initial Quality Awards than any other brand. During Ford SUV season, get 0% for 72 months plus $1,000 bonus cash on Escape, Edge, and Explorer. See your Oklahoma Ford dealer today.
Welcome back again, everybody. Our score is 7-7. As there's Mike Gundy in attendance this evening, taking in all of the action here this evening and watching his son, the junior quarterback. Got a good ball game right now. It's all tied up 7 apiece.
If you couldn't tell which one he was the one sitting like a football coach, leaned back in his chair. He was just watching his son. He knows the game. He was just having some fun out there watching his son.
That's great. All right, 1st and 10 for Stillwater. Here's Gundy throwing, going up top for his big wide receiver, and that pass is caught. Anthony Bland, mismatch out there on the corner. The defender, number 24, is Micaiah Cooper, and he's got to be giving up a good 4 or 5 inches at the least.
How about that, man? That's a great catch, and I'm surprised they didn't keep Gabe Johnson on him, as Gabe Johnson's been doing a great job all over Bland tonight, but at the same time, you know, Micaiah he's been doing a good job defensively. Cooper's been doing a good job with these other receivers, but it seems like the 2 times that they've switched him over that I can think of, it was that play and the touchdown pass.
1st and 10 at the Choctaw 40-yard line as Gundy throws this time near side for Bland. That's a reception. Ooh. Going to pick up about 4 yards on that grab.
You know, I just said Gabe Johnson's done a good job against him, but I don't know if anybody can do a good job against Bland. He's catching everything.
Again, 6'3", 187 at the high school level. Gundy puts it where only Bland can come down with it. It's not a big gain, but nonetheless, keep the defense on their toes. And the ball now at the 36-yard line in Choctaw territory.
Well, if I'm being completely honest, that wasn't the easiest catch in the world. It wasn't the greatest pass in the world. So going upstairs right along the sideline with a ball that wasn't even thrown with a very good spiral.
Gundy this time fires one over the middle. That's incomplete. Trying to hook up there with number 17, Lovets. And that'll bring up a 3rd down and 6 situation. Seven our score. 6A2 battle in District 1. We showed you the standings earlier. In District 2, you've got Bixby, Muskogee, and Shawnee all at 2-0 in district play. And don't forget about Booker T. Washington, even though they lost earlier to Midwest. Can't remember who they lost their game to. Maybe it was to Bixby. Here's a receiver that's wide open downfield, and Gundy overshoots him. Incomplete. He had him. He was open. See how he got so open there.
That was a wheel route.
Nice little double move there. And
yeah, put Lovitz in the wheel route. Gets kind of almost like unintentionally screened off as the other wide receiver out there comes across with the slant, so they cross paths for just a second. Maybe the defenders don't know who to pick up who, and then you just see Lovitz take off, and he ends up wide open on that sideline, just overthrown by Gundy.
Major shift to the left. And a penalty flag comes down. Yeah, that just didn't look right.
I was kind of hoping we'd see that Chuck Pagano play call where they got two guys up there on the offensive line, or one guy on the offensive line, and he snaps it directly, and everybody else is on the other side of the field.
It's a penalty against Stillwater. That'll push them back. Make it now 4th and 11 from the Choctaw 41-yard line.
Oh, they're going to go back to it.
It'll work that time. Rolling and looking to throw. Gundy in trouble. Gets out of trouble, tucks it, and now he's going to run with it. Complete running play all the way, and Gundy's going to dive for the first down, and I think he
got it. I think he got it.
Great effort by Gunner Gundy, showing off his wheels on that particular play. It looked like he had nowhere to go.
Yeah, I got to tell you one thing. I didn't think he should have tucked it. I thought, you know what, he's got to throw that ball. There's no way he's getting there on the ground. And a great effort by Gundy to tuck it and go. I mean, he just took that all the way. Right here, you see that dive for the first down marker. A great effort from the junior quarterback.
Yeah, on part of that replay, too, it looked like it was all set up for somebody to really get a block in the back, but he put both hands up and kind of said, hey, I didn't commit any foul in that play. Watch right here.
Yeah, I saw what you were talking about right here. You see right there on the 40-yard line.
And he backs off and doesn't hit him.
Well, see, and it's like those unset screens that you see in football. You see those unset picks, those wide receivers that just happen to cross paths and happen to hit one of the corners or something. And they always do it with their hands up or their hands down to their side, so it's not like they're blocking, but at the same time, their body being there is like a block.
So it looks like they did not get the spot. He did not get the first down. And Choctaw will take over on downs. So a great effort, but just short of the first down yardage necessary. And that'll bring the Yellow Jackets back out 1st and 10.
That's interesting. I really thought he got it.
Well, he dove head first, and you could see that the first down marker was lying on the turf. And there's a pass that, was it complete or not?
I think it was.
If it was complete, then it was fumbled. Or was he down?
Yeah, the question is, had he become a runner yet, I think.
And it's going to be turned right back over to Stillwater. Take a look. Here's your replay.
Yeah, same call. Short side of the field. Throw it to that man in the bunch formation. He's got it. Goes straight to the turf and the ball. Well, I see from the first viewing, I thought he had taken like a step or two.
Right.
And so, they always talk about in the NFL, had he become a runner yet? And I thought right there he had become a runner. And
did the ground cause the fumble was kind of what I was looking at too.
Well, and this is the only angle we have, so we can't really tell too much, but all of a sudden you see the ball just come out. I don't know. I think that call could have gone either way, but personally, if I was the referee, I think I would have just said, dead ball, incomplete pass.
All right, so Stillwater takes over as they exchange the football a couple of times. Here's Gundy looking deep again, going for that man, and he's got him. Touchdown, as he is able to find number 9, Anthony Bland, for the score. Is it going to count? Do we have any flags? Let's make sure. Oh, we do have a flag there at the 10.
I was ready to get excited with you, Steve, but then I saw Bland kind of walking back looking confused, and I was like, well, maybe he didn't get it.
Did he push off? They're meeting about it now, as you can see.
I think if anything, it should be on the defense. Yep.
It will be pass interference against Choctaw, so the touchdown stands as Gunnar Gundy hooks up with number 9, Anthony Bland, and that's just tough to defend.
Yeah, I don't know how you're going to be able to stop Bland. That's his 6th touchdown on the season, and we are now in the 6th game of the season, so that tells you he is definitely one of Gundy's favorite targets, and he is the guy out there at the wide receiver position for the Pioneers.
Well, it doesn't look like they have any safety help over the top either. I mean, they're counting on their cornerback to go one-on-one, and I don't know if that's going to be able to continue that way.
Well, and I think part of the reason they're doing that is just because of the running game that Williams brings to the table, or Walker, excuse me, brings to the table. Walker's a great running back for Stillwater, and so putting him in man-to-man coverage, somebody can lock down that running.
All right, so the Pioneers have their first lead of the game as they lead Choctaw now 14-7 on your Oklahoma Ford Dealers Game of the Week.
During Ford SUV season, find out why more people come back to Ford than any other brand. Here's a reason.
We've got room.
And here's another.
Waze says it's faster to take the side streets.
Perfect.
And by the way, Ford has won more J.D. Power Initial Quality Awards than any other brand. During Ford SUV season, get 0% for 72 months plus $1,000 bonus cash on Escape, Edge, and Explorer. See your Oklahoma Ford dealer today.
Well, we got a crazy one here tonight. Both teams scored on their opening possessions to make it 7-7, and then a number of exchanges and turnovers and turnover on downs, and Stillwater gets the touchdown pass, the same two hooking up, Anthony Bland and Gunnar Gundy, and Stillwater has taken the lead, and then a penalty afterwards obviously took place because now Stillwater is going to kick it off from the Choctaw 45-yard line.
Well, I forgot about the penalty, so I'm sitting here wondering why he's kicking off from the 45-yard line.
So if you're going to ever try an onside kick, that would probably be a pretty good idea because it has to go at least to the 35. So Stillwater with the lead on the road at Choctaw. The number 1 ranked Pioneers. Here we go. He's just going to kick it away and sends it deep into the end zone, automatically bringing it out to the 20-yard line. 1st and 10 for the Yellow Jackets, who really haven't done a whole lot offensively since that opening drive.
Yeah, and I kind of wonder if Stillwater's cracked the formula a little bit, as they know that screen pass is coming, and if it's not that screen pass, it's probably a run right up the middle with Williams. And so Stillwater's probably going to know what's coming every time.
So Choctaw and their quarterback, number 14, Thad Williams, come out to see if they can't get something going offensively. Running play up the middle. That's going to get about 6-7 yards. And on the carry, it's Blake Muse once again.
Blake Muse has had anything but a quiet night so far. He's done a great job getting yardage for this Choctaw offense and creating on the ground, as a lot of their yardage has come from those screen passes.
Another running play. This one gets perhaps a yard. And right away, that's going to bring up a 3rd and 4 situation for the Yellow Jackets.
Well, and that one came up because my player to watch on that defense got back there, and that was Watkins getting into the backfield to make the tackle. And a great job by him, and a bad job by him right there.
Not too sure he wasn't pushed from behind by one of his own teammates. And that's going to be enough for a 1st down and keep the drive alive for the Yellow Jackets. You can bet the coaches didn't want to see them help them in that regard.
Yeah, and I think Stillwater's probably jumped off either 3 or 4 times now. So that tells you either they're really antsy on that defensive line, or Thad Williams does a really good hard count.
So 1st and 10 from their own 31-yard line. Stillwater backs up, shows a different look. Gotta say, I've never seen that used before. Running play, and Muse barrels his way forward. Is going to get it out to about the 34-yard line. Gained a couple, 3 or 4 yards on that play. Good, tough football game here tonight from Choctaw in your Oklahoma Ford Dealers Game of the Week. Don't forget, during halftime, we have your Giga Blast halftime show. Check some other scores from around the state. Running play left side, nowhere to go. Good job defensively by that Pioneer front and the linebackers filling in the gaps.
Well, if I'm Stillwater, I'm fired up right now because 3 out of the last 4 possessions have turned out to be turnovers, and the other one was a punt. So you're doing your job, keeping Choctaw off the scoreboard. And if you're Choctaw, you've got to find a way to convert here on 3rd down for sure, so that way you can keep moving down the field and hopefully put another score up on the board before half.
Jake Corbin is the head coach for the Yellow Jackets. Running play up the middle. Muse on the give, straight ahead, keeps fighting. And he's going to get it out to the 41-yard line, just beyond the 40. Let's see if that's exactly where they're going to spot him, right at the 40-yard line. And they say that's going to set up a 4th down and 2 situation. So a big call here with 5.5 minutes left to go before halftime. Choctaw showing as though they're going to go for it, but first we've got a timeout called on the sidelines. 14-7, Stillwater on top of Choctaw. We'll be back.
Weoki's new money certificate rates are incredible. Transfer money from another institution to a Weoki 35-month certificate and receive 3.05 APY. Yes, that's over 3%. And get a $100 cash bonus for new CD amounts of $100,000 and greater. Open your certificate with new money at Weoki and start earning incredible rates. Federally insured, rate and bonus are for new money only. Other terms and limitations apply. Contact Weoki for details.
Along with Dylan Rivera, I'm Steve Marshall. Happy to be bringing you high school football here tonight on YurView. It's your Oklahoma Ford Dealers Game of the Week. 14-7. The number 1 Stillwater Pioneers on top of the number 8 Choctaw Yellow Jackets. And Choctaw facing a 4th and 2. Big situation right here, even though we're still in the first half.
Well, you mentioned those rankings. Squirtle people have given Stillwater a 71.7% chance to win this, giving Choctaw only a 28.3% chance.
So let's see what happens here. Big play coming up on a 4th and 2 situation. Turn, give to Muse, and he is stacked up, and I don't think he got it.
Yeah, as soon as you see that tight end come around and get into the backfield, you got to know they're thinking run on Choctaw's side of the ball. So Stillwater, if I'm them, as soon as I see that, I'm putting those linebackers into a blitz and saying run at that running back. Get him in the backfield because it was only a 4th and 2, so even just a little bit of a push could have gotten him that 1st down.
So now let's see, 1, what Stillwater can do with this opportunity, and 2, if Choctaw can hold on and drive them back the other way. Pioneers and Gunnar Gundy. Combo tonight has been Gundy to Anthony Bland. They've gone for 2 touchdown passes. Bland is lined up top of your screen, man-to-man coverage. Gundy looking to his right, and he's going to run it. Near side, nice run. You can see that he can move, and he's going to pick up good yardage. Should be enough for a 1st down and then some.
Yeah, it's such a weapon to have a mobile quarterback. You see some of these quarterbacks that we've seen are those pocket passers, and I think in high school, if you can't run as a quarterback, it really kind of is a detriment to your team. I think every high school quarterback should be able to create with his feet, and right there you see Gunnar Gundy is capable of that, and a great scrambler. As we saw earlier, that great scramble out of the pocket, and he got the 1st down, as we thought at least,
right.
And ended up not getting it though.
1st and 10 once again. Handoff up the middle. There goes Walker. He is hit. Stood up. Still gains about 3-4 yards on the carry.
Well, one thing we'll start to see more often now that it's October is you'll see the players start wearing a lot more pink. We see Thad Williams on Choctaw's offense at the quarterback position wearing that pink sleeve. You'll see a lot more players wearing pink shoes, pink socks, pink gloves, anything, as it's Breast Cancer Awareness Month, and we'll see that pick up definitely here this month.
2nd down and 6 situation now for the Pioneers. And we got a flag coming in from the back judge. Have to wait and see what that is about. It's going to go against the Pioneers, so mark them back 5 yards. So 2nd down and 11 now. And they tried to get him to jump off sides, were unsuccessful in their attempt. Now Gundy going to take it, give it to Walker. Got lots of running room, far side of the field. Walker inside the 10, going in for the end zone, and he is there for the touchdown. Pioneers, Quantrell Walker getting the touchdown as he takes it in for another 6 points.
Well, Stillwater's got this offense down for sure. This running back is a great running back in Walker. Great wide receiver, great quarterback, but definitely need to work on their celebrations right here. I don't know if our replay is going to show up, but they just kind of fell all over the place. No, a celebration game needs some work, but Walker for sure, a great running back, a great job getting out into the secondary, some great blocking from Stillwater as well, and that'll put up 6 more for the Pioneers.
Extra point attempt is on the way. Snap is back. Kick is good. So with 4:19 left to go here before halftime, Stillwater now on top, leading it by a score of 21-7.
Are you looking to build a career in the high-demand and high-paying field of construction? What are you waiting for? Tulsa Tech offers affordable, hands-on training in state-of-the-art facilities. Great training that can give you confidence. Get trained in fields like carpentry, electricity, HVAC, masonry, and welding. To learn how Tulsa Tech can help you make your own path to a successful career, call 918-828-5000 or visit tulsatech.edu.
Quantrell Walker with the touchdown run as the guys take opportunity to see one of the revolutions that's taken place in the game here the last couple of years. We first saw it out of Christian Heritage about 4 years ago. Some of it call it the Echo sound system, and others calling it Sky Coach. And was introduced to that by the guys over at Christian Heritage a number of years ago, and they are able to communicate between the press box and the sidelines using the intranet. And I was telling that story to the guy that does the TV games with me, and we talked about the old days when they used to slide down still photos from the press box on a rope all the way down to the sidelines. So we've come a long way.
Yeah, definitely. I've never heard of that.
You've
That's
never
crazy.
heard of that either?
No.
Because my partner, Dion Amate, who played at Oklahoma State, he said, no, they didn't. I said, yeah, they really did. And I remember that very distinctly, especially when the old Cowboy games. But they would have a rope set up, and then they would punch a hole in the still photo and run that all the way down to the sidelines, and that's how they'd get a look.
That's wild.
So times have changed, no doubt.
Yeah, for sure, for sure. Yeah, and that's becoming a very common occurrence, is those TVs on the sidelines. Right. I mean, I know Broken Arrow and Owasso both used them being on the sidelines when they played last year. I saw both teams had those out.
Right.
It's just become a common occurrence, and,
Sure.
and you see in the NFL, they've got the tablets. You know, everybody's got a tablet, and the coaches have a tablet. The players, all seem like they are holding a tablet all the time. It's just become a very common thing now as technology advances.
Yeah.
Those sidelines, they start to get a little bit smarter as well.
I think they use those Microsoft Surface tablets is what they use. Here's Choctaw, Choctaw on the attack, trying to get something going here before halftime as they hand the ball off to Blake Muse in the backfield, and Choctaw has just not been able to get much going. All the passes they've thrown, except maybe one or two, have been that quick sideline wide receiver screen. You see trips to the top of your screen right now. They've not really done anything in the middle. Nobody apparently jumped on that play. And so now Choctaw Looking at a 3rd down and 2 situation. Running play, trying to get outside, nowhere to go. Here come the Stillwater defense, and he did not get it. So the Pioneers have really, after giving up that touchdown in the very first drive of the ball game, they've given up nothing since.
Yeah, they've done a great job of finally answering the call, and that defense is stepping up to the plate, making the big stops that they need to. As I mentioned last possession, 3 out of their last 4 stops had been turnovers. Now it'd be 3 out of the last 5, I believe, but they're doing a great job forcing Choctaw into mistakes, getting into the backfield now, actually getting past that offensive line quite a few times, making it very tough for the Yellow Jackets to keep moving the ball forward.
4th and 1 situation, you would think that they probably aren't going to go through and go for it on 4th down. They're just going to run as much time off the clock as they can. They want to get in the locker room and make some adjustments as they trail Stillwater 21-7. We'll take a timeout and be right back.
During Ford SUV season, find out why more people come back to Ford than any other brand.
We're gonna kayak, mountain bike, rock climb, zip line.
First, let's get out of the city.
Yeah. Oh, then hang gliding.
Oh, you're on your own.
Keep your adventure on track with Ford, the brand with the most J.D. Power Initial Quality Awards. Now during Ford SUV season, get 0% financing for 72 months plus $1,000 bonus cash on Escape. See your Oklahoma Ford dealer today.
Welcome back to Choctaw. Umpire getting a little drink there as we're winding down towards halftime here. What will the score be at halftime? And don't forget, we have our Giga Blast from Cox halftime show. We'll check out Squirtle, some of the other scores going on around the state. And one of the big matchups I was curious in would be a 4A matchup between Tuttle and Bethany. Dylan will be scouring the scores and seeing what he can come up with there as we get flags that are flying and procedure call against Choctaw. We'll march them back another 5 yards. Looked as though they had the offensive team in as though they were going to go for it. Now they'll bring the punt team out. Yeah, Stillwater has really stymied them since that opening drive. So punting situation, snap is back in good shape. They do get it away. Good kick all the way back to the 35-yard line. Retreating and fighting and getting it out to about the 45, and that's where Stillwater will put it in play 1st and 10 with 1:51 left to go before the intermission.
Yeah, not much of a return there. A pretty good punt by Choctaw, and you'll see for the first time, it seems like in forever, some actual field position being on the opposite side of the 50. So a little bit of ways to go here for Stillwater. But their offense is very capable of finding the end zone. We've seen that here in the first half. 3 times punching it in, 2 through the air and 1 on the ground. And I think with multiple weapons on the field, that is definitely something that is to be expected.
So the line of scrimmage right at the 45-yard line. Stillwater in their own territory, leading it 21-7. Handoff up the middle. Walker still on his feet across midfield into Choctaw territory. Picks up about 7 on the carry.
Well, and one thing I think is, if I'm being honest, this has been one of the more interesting games that we've broadcasted so far this year, I think. We've seen the defenses play very well, and the offenses have come to play as well. Stillwater off the bat wasn't really there on the defensive end, but now really into it, and there, I thought he was going to get to the end zone.
Anthony Bland off the pass from Gunnar Gundy deep into Choctaw territory once again, and he's got to get some help up there.
Well, but see, once again, Johnson's there. He's not out of the play. He's not really getting beat necessarily. I mean, he's in position. And it's just every single time somehow Bland ends up with the football, but you're right, you got to think at some point maybe a safety.
Yeah.
You put him out there and you say, you know what, go help him out. He's getting beat. And so, I mean, it's got to come at some point. And I think maybe that's one of those halftime changes you could make, is put a safety deep, or 2 safeties, or even maybe if it comes down to it, double cover Bland, because nobody else has really seemed to be catching the ball tonight.
Running play up the middle, and that's going to get into the end zone. Another touchdown for Stillwater, and what was a close game all of a sudden is opened up, and the Pioneers are putting it to the Yellow Jackets now, as that makes it 27-7 with the extra point to come.
The power run, some big boy football. Let the offensive line give you a push, put the fullback in the way, and then just truck your way for those last 5 or 6 yards to find the end zone. Stillwater is finding the end zone like it's the easiest thing to find in the world. What's something easy that's easy to find? It's sticks. It's like sticks. You just find sticks everywhere.
Extra point attempt on the way. Kick is up. It is through, and Stillwater has exploded here in the second quarter. They are now on top, leading it 28-7 on your Oklahoma Ford Dealers Game of the Week.
Good morning, Bella.
Good morning.
Are you ready?
Yeah. 5 little monkeys.
Yay, Bella!
Hold still. Almost done.
Oh, Bella, I really
love playing with you.
Thanks, Grandma. I really like our visits.
Whatever tech tomorrow dreams up, you'll be ready with GigaBlast. Future speed internet is here from Cox.
Welcome back, everybody. Stillwater Pioneers have exploded out to a 28-7 lead over Choctaw now. And we still have 1:10 left to go here in this first half of play. One score I can tell you about: the Broken Arrow Tigers on top of the Westmore Jaguars with the extra point pending, leading it by a score of 35-10.
Noah Cortez is a star in high school football. I'm telling you, he is one of those players that I think can easily make an impact for sure at a D2 level, and I think he should be able to get a D1 team to give him a spot on the roster, because he has that much talent, and he is big time for the Tigers.
So the kickoff goes into the end zone, and Choctaw will bring it out 1st and 10 from their own 20. 28 unanswered points by the Pioneers after Choctaw scored on the opening possession. But since then, they have not really been able to really even come close to scoring again.
Yeah, well, when it rains, it pours. This Stillwater offense has been all over the place. 21 points in the second quarter and holding Choctaw scoreless. Choctaw, I don't even know how many first downs they've gotten here in the second quarter, but there goes one.
Blake Muse with a nice run off the right side. That's going to be about a gain of, they're going to spot him out at about the 44-yard line, it looks like. So he's going to pick up, or 46, so a 26-yard gain on that carry. Biggest running play of the night for the Yellow Jackets.
Well, I think if you're joining us just now, I don't think the score reflects the way this game has been played. If I'm being honest, Choctaw hasn't done a bad job. They've had a few too many miscues. They've had 3 turnovers. And so you shore those up, and maybe you see a couple more points on the board, and you see Choctaw kind of a little bit more even. As this game has been played, it'd be fairly even. But just those mistakes has caused the score to look a little bit uglier than it should be.
Winding down the final 30 seconds of this first half of play, Yellow Jackets going to try to get points on the board, or are they going to be happy just to ride it out? Get the snap off with just about 20 seconds left to go, and that is intercepted. That could go back for a pick 6. He read it all the way as the quarterback Matthews practically just threw it right to him. Great interception by Stillwater. Boy, I could see that coming. I started to say he's standing right there, and he is just waiting for it, jumps right in front and takes it away, and nearly took it all the way back.
That's a case of just a bad read by the quarterback. He's got to be able to see that there are 2 linebackers within just a couple of yards of where his receiver is, and so a bad idea to throw the football there. I wonder if maybe there was a little bit of pressure coming, and he just said, I got to get rid of it, and threw the ball. But a very bad decision, poor decision, and ends up getting Stillwater a first down.
So now it's very important for Choctaw to keep them out of the end zone. You know where they're going to go. Bland is at the bottom of your screen here with the yellow gloves. Gunnar Gundy, the quarterback, dropping. He's looking that way, throwing that way. Finds his man. Reception is made. He dives for the out of bounds. And it looks like they're going to stop the clock with about 4.8 seconds remaining before halftime. That's time enough to get off another play.
That's an awfully smart play from a high school football player to just dive out of bounds. He knew his momentum was taking him to the ground, and he stuck that arm out with the football so that way he would get that white marker out there, and clock stops.
All right, so there he is, Bland again at the bottom of your screen, number 9. Gundy, the quarterback, looking that way all the way. Throwing little too tall, incomplete. See if there's any time left on that clock before the halftime intermission. Looks like there is, and they'll have time for one more opportunity.
Well, in Stillwater, it looks like they're going to be a little greedy and try to get 6 points instead of 3. Now, one thing I think is interesting is Gundy, as soon as that snap comes, he's staring down Bland. You know where that ball is going. He's not even looking to that left side of the field. And so if I am Choctaw, I'm definitely double covering Bland, especially on this last play here, because you got to think that's where he's going.
If you have the time, you almost want to fake the pass to Bland and have the receiver from the top of your screen cutting down towards the middle. So both squads are going to want to take a look at it, talk about it, and we still have one play left. We'll keep it right here as we get ready to bring you the Giga Blast from Cox halftime show. And we'll tell you about some scores that are going on. You got some already?
I got the one that you asked about, Tuttle and Bethany. It is 7-0. Tuttle is up right now, and that is in about the late second quarter right now.
We saw Tuttle earlier in the season. Very good team, always a good football team, one of the traditional powers on the west side of the state when you get away from the larger classes. And Bethany, for their part, has been a very good football program for a number of years. Reagan Roof had got that program going several years ago. John Arthur is now the head coach over there, doing a great job. Sam Brandt, the quarterback for the Bethany Broncos. And they have been playing quite well here in the early part of the season. So we'll check on that and some other scores. Only one real game of importance last night, and that was Owasso taking on Norman North. It really didn't turn out to be much of a game at all. Owasso winning that one handily. Heritage Hall also a big win over Perkins, and those were really the only two games that were played last night that really hold much bearing at all. Here we've got a 2nd and 10 with 2 seconds left before halftime, and a flag comes out. Delay of game is called, and that may be as much to give them more room to operate, Dylan, than anything else.
Well, and I don't even know if it was intentional, because Gundy came back towards the offensive coordinator saying, like with his hands up, saying, what happened there? And so I wonder if that was intentional. Maybe it was, maybe it wasn't. I'm not really too sure. But I can tell you one thing, you're absolutely right. Maybe it gives them a little bit more room, so that way you're not trying to score in such a bunched up area. And that's one thing that I see a lot is when you get down within those like 5-10 yard lines, the defense is a little bit less, spaced out.
From a 21-yard line, little play action bootleg. That didn't work. Now throwing towards the end zone. Bland catches it, dives for the end zone. Did he get in?
Well, this will be an interesting call here. We'll see what comes up out of it.
Well, if they're going to wait to unpile him right here, and if he's laying in the end zone, I don't know if that's a true indication. I kind of thought he crossed the goal line. Still waiting for the official's call. He's backing up, and the call is no touchdown. All right, so there you have it. Halftime comes down to the very last play, the last inch. They nearly got it in, but not quite. And Stillwater has the best of it. Choctaw is able to hold on. We'll see how important that becomes in the second half. But the Giga Blast from Cox halftime show coming up next with scores and highlights from our first half of play. Stay with us.
During Ford SUV season, find out why more people come back to Ford than any other brand. Here's a reason.
We've got room.
And here's another.
Waze says it's faster to take the side streets.
Perfect.
And by the way, Ford has won more J.D. Power Initial Quality Awards than any other brand. During Ford SUV season, get 0% for 72 months plus $1,000 bonus cash on Escape, Edge, and Explorer. See your Oklahoma Ford dealer today.
Weoki's new money certificate rates are incredible. Transfer money from another institution to a Weoki 35-month certificate and receive 3.05 APY. Yes, that's over 3%. And get a $100 cash bonus for new CD amounts of $100,000 and greater. Open your certificate with new money at Weoki and start earning incredible rates. Federally insured, rate and bonus are for new money only. Other terms and limitations apply. Contact Weoki for details.
Good morning, Bella.
Good morning.
Are you ready?
Yeah. 5 little monkeys.
Yay, Bella!
Hold still. Almost done.
Oh, Bella, I really
love playing with you.
Thanks, Grandma. I really like our visits.
Whatever tech tomorrow dreams up, you'll be ready with GigaBlast. Future speed internet is here from Cox.
No one thinks about their water heater until it fails.
At that point, you have a huge mess on your hands with water damage everywhere.
A planned water heater replacement can save you a lot of trouble.
Right now, you can save big on a new high-efficiency water heater.
Call Airco Service,
the company you know.
Tulsa Tech has really helped me build my future. Woodworking is my passion. I've always wanted to be a carpenter. The carpentry programs are a great program to get into. The teacher is fantastic. He teaches us about quality, and no matter what you do, you need to have pride and integrity in your work. The facilities here are state-of-the-art. All the tools here are the best of the best. This class has been a great opportunity for me. It's one of my favorite classes ever. We have so much fun, the best 3 hours of my day. Tulsa Tech has really helped me make my own path in so many ways.
During Ford SUV season, find out why more people come back to Ford than any other brand. Here's a reason.
We've got room.
And here's another.
Waze says it's faster to take the side streets.
Perfect.
And by the way, Ford has won more J.D. Power Initial Quality Awards than any other brand. During Ford SUV season, get 0% for 72 months plus $1,000 bonus cash on Escape, Edge, and Explorer. See your Oklahoma Ford dealer today.
The GigaBlast halftime show, powered by Cox, is brought to you by your Oklahoma Ford dealers, the best in Oklahoma. Airco, the company you know. Tulsa Tech, for your future success, go to tulsatech.edu. And by Weoki Credit Union. Join us all fall long for some of the top high school football from around the country on Game Time.
Welcome back, everybody. Your Oklahoma Ford Dealers Game of the Week. It is game time here tonight on YurView. There you see our halftime score. Stillwater on top, 28-7. But that's not the way this game started out, Dylan, as both teams were able to score in their very first possession. Things kind of leveled out. It was pretty even for a while, and then Stillwater explodes at the end of that half.
Well, yeah, and I mentioned it late in the second quarter. I said if you were just joining us, the score to me doesn't reflect how this game has been played. Choctaw has been doing a good job on both ends of the field. It's just too many mistakes. We've seen 2 fumbles, or 1 fumble, and 3 interceptions, 2 interceptions, something like that. I'm losing count. I had the count in the second quarter. But, yeah, just a few too many mistakes. And so if they can clean those up here in the second half, we'll see that score kind of even back out.
All right, let's take a look at some of those first half highlights and how we got to where we are at this time. Choctaw got the ball first, and Blake Muse gets things going.
Yeah, it was a great run from him. He was supposed to run right, and you see him kind of stop right there at the offensive line, right there at the line of scrimmage, and goes, well, I can't go anywhere this way, so I'm going to cut back to the left, and he goes to the left. A lot of running room and a great job by Blake Muse to do that.
And then he's going to finish it off as he's going to take it in from 5 yards out to get into the end zone. That's our next highlight to give Choctaw the early lead at 7-0. So Muse with a nice run to set it up and then takes it into the end zone to make it a 7-0 lead for Choctaw in that first quarter play. And then we move to the second score of the game, and that is Stillwater on their answer back. And it's a combination that we became all too familiar with in that first half. Gunnar Gundy to Anthony Bland.
Yeah, and that was a throw where Gundy put it just where Bland could get it. He put it on that right shoulder, And not too shabby for a young quarterback, a junior quarterback, putting it right there where only his receiver can get it.
Then we had a special teams gaff by Choctaws. They looked like they wasn't sure exactly what they wanted to do, and you're going to see a block punt coming up here by Stillwater. It's going to give them some great field position, as that was probably when the tables really started to turn right there in favor of the Stillwater Pioneers off that block punt. And then we also are going to see a Choctaw fumble coming up next here that is going to help Stillwater in their cause.
Well, see, and this was a good run by Muse. I thought he was going to get a good 20, 30-yard gain out of this, and then right here just a hand pokes it loose by number 20, and the ball seems to be recovered by number 20. A great job by Kobe Holly for Stillwater. He does both the recovering and the forcing of the fumble.
That is a very nice job. And then later, again, it's that combination as we're going to see another Stillwater touchdown here. And all the way, one-on-one coverage, and Bland just too tough to cover.
Well, and one-on-one, it's tough to cover that kid. And you put Cooper on him, and Cooper hasn't been doing a great job. You see both of those touchdowns were on him. So I think Gabe Johnson is a little bit better of a bet, at least, when you put him out there one-on-one against Bland. But I think either way, it's tough to stop that kid.
And really the feature running back, this is Quantrell Walker, and he showed us what he can do in that first half.
Yeah, and he bounced that out to the outside, had some running room to go, and he finds the end zone. And I think he's definitely been a big part of this Stillwater offense, not only in this game, but in this season so far.
It's turned into a Stillwater highlight reel here as once again it's Gundy and Bland hooking up.
Well, and every single time, if you notice, Gundy gets the ball and he looks straight at Bland on these pass plays. It's almost like he doesn't even acknowledge the other receivers, and so he is looking for Bland. And so if I'm Choctaw's defense, I'm saying we got to key in on that and maybe put a safety out there. We've mentioned that, putting a safety out there to help out, because Bland is tearing up the defense right now.
So that made it 21-7, and then they're going to make it 28-7 here on this play right here, and it's Walker back up the middle for another touchdown.
Yeah, hand it to that 5'8", 190 running back and just let him punch it forward for a few yards and get the end zone at the bottom of his shoes. And so we'll see another 6 points put up by Stillwater there.
And as you mentioned, a number of turnovers for Choctaw, and here's the last one.
Yeah, and that one you and I both kind of were in agreement. It was just a bad throw, a bad play by the quarterback. At least he made up for it by making the tackle, because if he hadn't made that tackle, it definitely would have been another 6 for Stillwater. But he's got to do a better job of reading the defense before he throws that ball.
Time running out. One last chance to see if Stillwater can't get in the end zone. Gundy to Bland, but they're going to say he did not get in.
Now, that one was quite the interesting play, as it seemed like the receiver, Bland, might have gotten in there, but then at the same time, did the ball come loose? And when it came loose, did they recover it and then get into the end zone, or were they even in the end zone to start with? I don't really know what happened there, but eventually they said that Stillwater came up short.
All right, so your halftime score, 28-7. It's your Gigablast from Cox halftime show. When we return, we'll take a look at some of the other scores from across the state here on your Oklahoma Ford Dealers Game of the Week.
Good morning, Bella.
Good morning.
Are you ready?
Yeah. 5 little monkeys.
Yay, Bella!
Hold still. Almost done.
Oh, Bella, I really
love playing with you.
Thanks, Grandma. I really like our visits.
Whatever tech tomorrow dreams up, you'll be ready with Gigablast. Future speed internet is here from Cox.
During Ford SUV season, find out why more people come back to Ford than any other brand. Here's a reason.
We've got room.
And here's another.
Waze says it's faster to take the side streets.
Perfect.
And by the way, Ford has won more J.D. Power Initial Quality Awards than any other brand. During Ford SUV season, get 0% for 72 months plus $1,000 bonus cash on Escape, Edge, and Explorer. See your Oklahoma Ford dealer today.
Weoki's new money certificate rates are incredible. Transfer money from another institution to a Weoki 35-month certificate and receive 3.05 APY. Yes, that's over 3%. And get a $100 cash bonus for new CD amounts of $100,000 and greater. Open your certificate with new money at Weoki and start earning incredible rates. Federally insured, rate and bonus are for new money only. Other terms and limitations apply. Contact Weoki for details.
No one thinks about their water heater until it fails.
At that point, you have a huge mess on your hands with water damage everywhere.
A planned water heater replacement can save you a lot of trouble.
Right now, you can save big on a new high-efficiency water heater.
Call Airco Service,
the company you know.
Are you looking for a career where you can work anywhere and even travel the world? Do you have a passion to work with people, plan events, or own your own restaurant? Tulsa Tech can help you build a successful career with exciting hospitality programs. Programs like culinary arts, restaurant and lodging management, and event planning. Make your own path to a successful career you love by calling Tulsa Tech at 918-828-5000 or apply online at tulsatech.edu.
Welcome back, everybody. We're at halftime. Your GigaBlast halftime show brought to you by the good folks at Cox and YurView.com. 28-7 is our lead for Stillwater on top of the Choctaw Yellow Jackets as we take a look at some of the scores from across the state. What do you have there, Dylan?
How about Noble at Altus? That's a game that I'm sure you probably care about. It seems like you like these West Side schools, so yes, I'll give you a West Side right off the bat. How about 27-7? Altus is up by 20 at halftime.
Go Bulldogs.
And let's see where else we can go. We got Empire at Ryan. Those are some smaller schools. You got Ryan 24, Empire 14. That one's late in the second quarter. Victory Christian came into this game 5-0, and they are playing Haskell at home. And it is 21-14 right now. Victory Christian is up. We can go to Ponca City and see that Bixby is holding up their end of the record. 4-1 is their record right now. Ponca City is 0-5, and you can expect that one to be a little bit of a beatdown. And Bixby is up 29-3, and that one is about to kick off the third quarter. Collinsville and Tahlequah, two 5-0 schools matching up tonight. That one's in Tahlequah, but yet Collinsville is up 23-0, and that was about halfway through the third quarter.
All right, the only other games I would be looking for, Jenks at UConn, maybe Mustang at Southmore, and really other than that, that would probably be it for the most part. But we'll take a look and see if we can't find some additional scores. As you see the halftime show going on right now, Stillwater on top of Choctaw. They lead it by a score of 28-7. We'll be back.
Good morning, Bella.
Good morning.
Are you ready?
Yeah. 5 little monkeys.
Yay, Bella!
Hold still. Almost done.
Oh, Bella, I really
love playing with you.
Thanks, Grandma. I really like our visits.
Whatever tech tomorrow dreams up, you'll be ready with GigaBlast. Future speed internet is here from Cox.
During Ford SUV season, find out why more people come back to Ford than any other brand. Here's a reason.
We've got room.
And here's another.
Waze says it's faster to take the side streets.
Perfect.
And by the way, Ford has won more J.D. Power Initial Quality Awards than any other brand. During Ford SUV season, get 0% for 72 months plus $1,000 bonus cash on Escape, Edge, and Explorer. See your Oklahoma Ford dealer today.
Are you looking for a career where you can work anywhere and even travel the world? Do you have a passion to work with people, plan events, or own your own restaurant? Tulsa Tech can help you build a successful career with exciting hospitality programs. Programs like culinary arts, restaurant and lodging management, and event planning. Make your own path to a successful career you love by calling Tulsa Tech at 918-828-5000 or apply online at tulsatech.edu.
No one thinks about their water heater until it fails.
At that point, you have a huge mess on your hands with water damage everywhere.
A planned water heater replacement can save you a lot of trouble.
Right now, you can save big on a new high-efficiency water heater.
Call Airco Service,
the company you know.
During Ford SUV season, find out why more people come back to Ford than any other brand. Here's a reason.
We've got room.
And here's another.
Waze says it's faster to take the side streets.
Perfect.
And by the way, Ford has won more J.D. Power Initial Quality Awards than any other brand. During Ford SUV season, get 0% for 72 months plus $1,000 bonus cash on Escape, Edge, and Explorer. See your Oklahoma Ford dealer today.
Good morning, Bella.
Good morning.
Are you ready?
Yeah. 5 little monkeys.
Yay, Bella!
Hold still. Almost done.
Oh, Bella, I really
love playing with you.
Thanks, Grandma. I really like our visits.
Whatever tech tomorrow dreams up, you'll be ready with GigaBlast. Future speed internet is here from Cox.
Welcome back, everybody. It is your GigaBlast from Cox halftime show. 28-7 is our score. Stillwater on top of the Choctaw Yellow Jackets. As you can see, the band and their performance appears to be done for the evening. Enjoyed what we could of that from the opposite side, unfortunately, but that's where we were set up for this evening, and hopefully you've enjoyed the game to this point. As my partner here, Dylan Rivera, you have a trivia question that you've been dying to ask him tonight.
Yeah. I saw this online. I thought to myself, I was like, this would be a good question to see if maybe some of our more experienced viewers or some of those Stillwater fans might be able to guess this one. Who is the winningest head coach in Stillwater school history?
In Stillwater high school history. Winningest coach in Stillwater high school history.
Yeah, that's the question.
Boy, I don't even know that I have a good guess. Trying to think back of the Stillwater. Of course, my memory only goes back to when I moved here in 1986. So that would be 31 years. Is it in that time frame? I'm guessing no.
I will give that hint, and I will say yes, it is.
It is. Huh. Well, that's a good question. Can I ponder on that, or?
Yes, we'll answer it later down the line.
All right.
Give some of our viewers a chance to ponder as well.
Yeah. 28-7 is our halftime score here tonight. Stillwater over Choctaw. So you're the coach on, first off, you're the Choctaw coach. What are you telling your guys at halftime?
I am saying don't look at the scoreboard too seriously. If you see that 28-7, you say, look, we clean up those mistakes here and there. We're right there in this game. So this time out, let's go out there, let's play some football, clean football. Let's keep track of the ball, right? The pigskin is the most important part of the game. You cannot score without it. And so if you keep handing it over to Stillwater, you're going to end up in this bigger hole. So you say, you know what, don't look at the scoreboard, pay attention to your game, do your job, take care of the football.
Stillwater came out. They were trailing when they got the ball for the very first time as Choctaw scored on their first possession. If you're the Stillwater coach, Tucker Bernard, you got to be pretty happy with the way your team responded.
Yeah, I would say 3 words to my guys. Keep the momentum. Keep it going. Keep that energy. Because you got to stay where you were in that second quarter. They put up 21 unanswered points in the last 12 minutes. And so to me, you've just got to keep it going. Keep that train chugging along. And try to keep some points up on the board and keep Choctaw off of it.
All right, as we came into tonight's contest, we talked about what a big district matchup this was. Both teams were 2-0 on the early part of the year. For Stillwater, after tonight, next week, they will play at Lawton before having home games against Putnam West and Putnam City, and then wrapping up the season at Dell City in week number 10. That very well could have district championship ramifications in that contest. For Choctaw, the rest of the way after tonight, they will play at Putnam West. They will host Lawton and then Midwest City, pretty formidable task there, and then play at Deer Creek. So you would have to say Stillwater with the games against Lawton and Dell City, 2 tough contests, and for Choctaw, still have to play Lawton, Midwest City, and Deer Creek. So the tougher part of the season is still yet to come, apparently, for both of these teams. And as we mentioned at the top of the show, the district standings had Stillwater and Dell City both at 2-0. Choctaw, Lawton, Midwest City, and Putnam West were all 1-1. Deer Creek and Putnam City had not won inside of district play. Quickly over in District District 2, you've got Bixby and Muskogee and Shawnee. All three of those teams are 2-0. In District 2, you've got Sapulpa, Booker T. Washington. They're 1-1, and then Sand Springs, Bartlesville, and Ponca City 0-2 on the season thus far in district play. So when you kind of take that apart, in that District 2, you see Bixby, you see Muskogee, you see Shawnee. That would leave one final spot. I would have to give the edge to Booker T. Washington, but I will also admit I haven't seen Sapulpa or Sand Springs. I'm going off past performances and their overall records because Ponca City's not won a game this year. Sand Springs and Bartlesville just won. Sapulpa 1-1 in district play, but they're 4-1 overall.
Yeah, I think for this matchup here tonight, I think this one has big implications on standings for District 1. I think Choctaw, Lawton, and Midwest City is going to be interesting to see how those three teams end up playing out their district matchups. I think for sure Stillwater and Del City will find their way in. I wouldn't be surprised to see Lawton get in as well. But for sure, those three teams, and when they each meet up, I think that's going to be the big show and see who gets those last two spots. And for District 2, as you mentioned, the three that are at the top there with Bixby, Muskogee, and Shawnee, I'm right there with you. I think Booker T. Washington probably has a little bit of an edge to get that last spot, and I look to see them fill out those last four for District 2. And so I think the playoff picture is going to get really interesting over the next few weeks, and we'll see how it shapes up as we go along.
All right, we're all set to begin second half play. It's Choctaw kicking the ball away to Stillwater. And Choctaw, for their part, they need to get a stop here on defense and then go down and put some points on the board. Otherwise, Stillwater in danger of running away from this ball game.
Well, and Choctaw to this point has only allowed 24.6 points per game. And you see Stillwater has already surpassed that with 28.
So on the kickoff, fair catch is called for and taken right at the 29-yard line, and that's where Stillwater will put it in play, 1st and 10.
Well, one thing that's kind of interesting is neither one of these teams has won a state title in quite some time. It was 1960 for Choctaw and 1967 for Stillwater. It's been a while since these teams have climbed to the mountaintop.
Stillwater coming out, Gunnar Gundy and Anthony Bland had quite the first half of play. The quarterback and wide receiver duo. You throw in Quantrell Walker, who just got the handoff here to start the second half, and those three combined for probably 70-80% at least of their offense.
Yeah, I don't know that anybody else has actually touched the football now that I think about it. I mean, I haven't seen another wide receiver get the ball, or at least if they have, not to my memory. And I think Walker has been getting all the touches at the running back spot. And so it's been all Gundy, Walker, and Bland.
Pretty much. There's a good look at Gunnar Gundy. His dad, Mike Gundy, the coach for the Oklahoma State Cowboys, in the stands. We pointed him out already earlier in our webcast here tonight. Second down play goes for no gain, and that's going to bring up a third down situation for Stillwater.
Yeah, and Gundy's Cowboys climb back into the rankings this week, and we'll see how they can fare tomorrow. And he's a little bit more focused probably on his son tonight and seeing how Gunnar does. Wonder what that's like, having a dad that's a football coach when you're a football player. That's going to be kind of interesting. Interesting dynamic at the dinner table for sure.
Gundy with Walker in the backfield. Takes the snap. Rolling. And he's going to be taken down from behind. Nice defensive play there by the Yellow Jackets, who make a strong stand here to start off this second half of play. Tackle made there by number 24, Micaiah Cooper. And that's going to bring on a punting situation.
And that's that Choctaw defense that we haven't seemed to really see in a while. And that defensive line is a big part of how Choctaw is going to end up playing out this second half. It seems like any time that they really get some pressure on Gundy, they get the stops that they want. They get there and they fluster him and they get him out of the pocket, and they do a great job at it. But when they don't get back there, it makes it a little bit too easy for him. He's able to find Bland or whoever it may be, and it's too easy for Stillwater's offense at that point.
So Gundy punts it away, and the kick is downed at about the 37-yard line, where Choctaw will take over 1st and 10, and they need to go to work and get some points on the board.
Well, one thing that's really stuck out is Choctaw's play calls. It's been a lot of that. We've talked about the bunch formation on one side, and it usually seems to be the shorter side of the field if we're talking about, north to south here. I guess it's east to west. Whichever side is shorter, it seems like they go to that side a lot more.
Fake the end around, turn around and keep it. That's a different player in there at the quarterback spot.
Yeah, it was a wildcat formation.
Yeah, that was number 8 for Choctaw is Deshaun Moore.
Yeah, I noticed it because I saw 14 Williams pink sleeve up there on the sideline, and I was like, well, he's not out there at quarterback right now. And so the wildcat formation doesn't end up getting any positive results. It gets him just back to the line of scrimmage.
Moore still in there in that wildcat position, turns again, fakes, fights forward. He'll get some nice yardage out across the 42, about the 44-yard line.
Great job dancing around, staying up on his feet. A lot of guys falling around him, trying to knock him over, and he does a great job of staying up and getting a few more yards, just fighting for that extra couple of yards.
So 3rd and 4 now. Williams is back in at the quarterback spot. Let's see what they dial up here on this 3rd and 4 situation. Play action pass, roll it right side, and the defense is right there. No gain on the play. And again, running it to the short side of the field. I've always had an issue with that, but Coach knows his team and his players better than I do, absolutely, by far. But no gain on that play, and that'll bring up a 4th down and another punting situation, you would think.
Yeah, that call, just a quick screen out to the tight end, Sumlin. And as you say, goes out to that short side of the field, and I think Stillwater might have been running a zone there because there was 2 guys just kind of in the area of where he caught the ball that were ready and waiting for him. So I have a feeling there was a zone defense call there.
The punt is away. Takes a high bounce at about the 25-yard line. It's going to be down there, and Stillwater will take over 1st and 10 right around the 8-minute mark here in this 3rd quarter play. Pioneers lead it by a score of 28-7.
Well, and let's go ahead and answer that question before it gets way too far down the line. So we've had some time to ponder. We'll see if maybe some of our viewers are thinking the right name, or if you're thinking the right name. It is Bill DeFee. Bill DeFee is the most winningest head coach in Stillwater school history. He was the head coach from 1983 to 2001, and he had a record of 152-67.
Good record.
For the Pioneers.
Very good record. Running play. Back to the line of scrimmage and then driven back about 7 or 8 yards. And Choctaw trying to feel and build a little momentum. Get a stop here and get the ball back and try to get some points on the board. Yeah, I didn't have a good guess on that at all. I knew it wasn't Brian Reeves. That's about all I could come up with, though. No big country.
Yeah, DeFee was here at the time that you would have just come in to the area and started covering high school sports. It was 1983, and you said you came in 86.
Right.
So he would have been the Stillwater coach right when you got here.
Gundy throwing right side. Bland is there once again. You know, you look at this tandem here tonight, you wonder how Bland didn't have bigger numbers, really. He came in averaging only about 5.5 receptions a game. And he's got to have, 8 at least tonight?
Well, and I wonder if in film sessions, maybe Stillwater looked at it and said, I don't think these guys can stop Bland. And you see right here, one thing that I've been mentioning, Gabe Johnson sticking with Bland. They've, I guess, hit the point where they say, you know what, we're going to keep number 3 on number 9 rather than putting Cooper, number 24, up against him. The last couple of times that we've seen 24 try to cover him, it's ended up in some big plays and some big points up on the board for Stillwater.
Walker fights forward, gets enough for the first down. So a new set of downs coming up for Stillwater. 1st and 10 from their own 38-yard line. Working our way towards the midway point here in this third quarter. Gundy surveys the defense. Looking near side of the field, goes to Bland again, who is caught, wrapped up, and is taken down. Let's see where they're going to mark him down as far as the forward progress is concerned. Looks to be about the 42-yard line, so probably 5-yard gain, 4 or 5 yards picked up on that play.
And again, Gundy looks straight to Bland. He gets the snap, goes straight over to find number 9. That's almost like number 6 out there on the opposite side. Jack Smithton, is just a decoy maybe.
Tight coverage now by Gabe Johnson on Bland. Running play opposite side. Walker hit, spins, fights forward for about 2-yard gain in the play, maybe not even that much. Out to about the 44. Main thing for Stillwater, they've got a 21-point lead and the clock continues to roll.
And he did a great job avoiding a couple of tackles there. A spin move that you talked about to get out of that wrap up, and does a good job just staying up, and then a couple of Yellow Jackets converge on him and eventually bring him to the turf, but he does a good job. And I think Walker is definitely somebody that people are going to need to keep their eyes on in 6A Division 2, as he is just a sophomore.
Gundy going for Bland again. He's can't hold on this time. Had it, lost it, just couldn't hang on.
I'll tell you one thing, that would have been a heck of a catch if he had come down with that. It was kind of behind his head, and he was jumping and leaning backwards. Similar to that Odell catch, but he had 2 hands on it instead of 1. But the same kind of falling backwards motion. That's a tough catch to make, and right there he was unable to come up with it. So it'll be 4th down for Stillwater.
Quantrell Walker, the running back, came into this game needing just 47 yards for 1,000 on the season. I feel confident that he's picked up that much. All it took was really a good run or 2, and he certainly has had that tonight. Punting situation for the Pioneers as they kick it away. Sailing back, this one is going to get into the end zone, and they'll bring it out to the 20-yard line with 5:18 left to go in the third quarter of play. Stillwater on top of Choctaw 28-7 on your Oklahoma Ford Dealers Game of the Week.
We mentioned earlier the game that Choctaw played Del City. Choctaw's offense was a little bit more, what's the word I'm looking for here? It was a little bit more spread out, I guess you could say. There was a little bit more of an interesting, play call to it. You couldn't really predict what was coming next. And in this so far today, I could tell you almost every snap is a bunch formation on the short side, where they throw that screen to the guy in the back of the bunch formation, or it's a run up the middle. And every now and then they stray away from it, like here it looks like they may do so.
Williams with a quick pass to the right side. Pass is complete. And I believe on the receiving end of that one was number 43.
It was 83.
83. Coming up with the reception there, and that's Cade Sanford.
Yeah, that first half, like I was getting the point out, was the first half was very predictable first half for Choctaw. And now so far in the second half, it seems like they've kind of started to switch it up a little bit. And we'll see if that continues as they try to put some more points up on the board and get out of this hole here in the second half.
Empty backfield once again. Pass to the short, or this side of the field. Complete there to Isaiah Sumlin. The one name that we haven't called tonight is Zane Coleman, number 11. And I don't recall seeing him out there. There he is at the bottom of the screen right there. One of the Yellow Jackets is down.
That's Sumlin. He came up out of the play hobbling a little bit, and now you see him go to the turf.
So we've got a timeout on the field. 4:21 left to go here in this third quarter of play. Stillwater on top of Choctaw, 28-7 on your Oklahoma Ford Dealers Game of the Week.
During Ford SUV season, find out why more people come back to Ford than any other brand. Here's a reason.
We've got room.
And here's another.
Waze says it's faster to take the side streets.
Perfect.
And by the way, Ford has won more J.D. Power Initial Quality Awards than any other brand. During Ford SUV season, get 0% for 72 months plus $1,000 bonus cash on Escape, Edge, and Explorer. See your Oklahoma Ford dealer today.
Welcome back to Choctaw. Isaiah Sumlin being helped to his feet. Got the cramps here in week 6 of high school football. We're getting probably to that point next week, not the week after, where you don't see that much anymore. Becoming dehydrated. Not so much an issue as you're not losing as many body fluids as you would in the early part of the season.
Give the man some pickle juice.
That's what they tell us. Now, see, that's old school. Can't believe you don't remember shooting the still photos down the clothesline.
I think everybody knows about pickle juice, though.
Pass over the middle, caught. Good reception here. On the reception made out there by number 8, Deshaun Moore, and that's going to get all the way out towards midfield into Stillwater territory, stopping him at the 49. Quick pass over the middle, nobody there guarding him. He breaks a tackle and gets it all the way across midfield.
Yeah, just a slant. Looks like he got lost in coverage somehow. Somebody wasn't doing their assignment, and he ends up getting about a 20-yard gain out of it.
Good, because that's the first time we've seen one over the middle all night, practically. Running play from the 49 down to about the 46. Gain of 3 for Muse on the carry.
Now, one thing that we've seen tonight is this Stillwater defensive line doing this tactic where they kind of start out on the ground, you know, in that three-point stance, and then they'll stand up and back up and get a running start at it. And it's kind of a interesting way of going about attacking the quarterback.
Looked like the Pioneers were drawn off sides on that particular play, so the penalty will be enforced and make things a little bit easier. Instead of a 2nd and 7, now a 2nd and 2 coming up for the Yellow Jackets.
We really see Choctaw starting to move the football here, something they've been struggling to do here. They struggled in the second quarter for sure, and now coming out in the second half, maybe getting some more progress and getting down the field and get some points up on the board. That's obviously the hope. Main thing is just making sure they don't lose control of that football. That's been a big issue tonight for the Yellow Jackets.
They're going to spot him right at the 40-yard line. 3rd and 1. Looked like somebody from Stillwater maybe had jumped across, but no flag. They've got stacked there in the middle. Option. Fakes the pass a couple of times. Looks like he should have enough.
I think they're calling him short.
Let's see where they mark it. Ooh, yeah, that mark's not good. Yeah, they're not even going to call for the chains, it looks like. So 4th down coming up for Choctaw. And you're getting into a situation now down by 3 touchdowns with just under 3 minutes left to go here in this 3rd quarter. You got to make something happen.
I think for sure here you got to try to draw them off sides with that many guys on the line.
Running play straight ahead. Should have enough there, I think. Although, yeah, the Choctaw staff is saying they've got it.
That looks like another poor spot to me.
Yeah, that's not a good spot. I thought he had gotten across that, and they're going to take a measurement here. I thought he was probably at least a half football further than that. They're saying he needs to get to the 39-yard line. They're going to bring the sticks in from the far side. Let's see if we can get a second look and ascertain exactly where it should be marked as you take a look.
I think it's almost right on that 39-yard line.
Well, that's a lot. He got it by a lot more than I thought he did. I thought if he got it, it was going to be by maybe half the football at best. That's a full length of the football. 1st and 10 for the Yellow Jackets. I was talking to one of my friends at the Boomer Bash last week who's a high school and a small college referee. He said there's over 200 different calls between college football and high school football. 200 different interpretations.
That's crazy.
That's what I thought. So Sometimes you can get confused on those calls, or at least I do. I'll be the first to admit it. Like I learned that there's no such thing as an uncatchable pass in high school football a couple weeks ago. Quick look to the outside, and
that was an uncatchable pass.
Incomplete is the call from the referee.
It looked like he may have gotten hit in the arm. I think the ball just went straight into the dirt. Get instant replay here so you guys can see. Oh no, he just lost track of it. Rub those hands off. Get a towel.
Yeah.
You got a towel right there on your shorts.
So 3rd and 10 now for the Yellow Jackets from the Stillwater 39. Pass play over the middle. There's Zane Coleman, and Coleman is going to take it to the end zone. Touchdown, Yellow Jackets.
How about one touch, one touchdown? That's all it takes for Zane Coleman to find the end zone. A quick slant pattern. And when we talked about it, the last slant was maybe the first one that we had seen all game from Choctaw. And right here, once again, a slant pattern. And I think the Stillwater defense is caught sleeping on those middle pass routes because we haven't seen those tonight. And right there, the man that was checking him at the line of scrimmage switches off thinking maybe screen. That slant route gets thrown. Right on the money is the ball, and he just takes it to the house.
Extra point attempt is big here. Snap is back. Kick is on the way, and it is good with 2:02 left to go in the third quarter. Yellow Jackets have some life. They trail 28-14 on your Oklahoma Ford Dealers Game of the Week.
Look, if you're not the lead dog, the scenery never changes. That's why this is the view for every other full-size pickup. And this year, it's deja vu all over again. Because only the Ford F-150 gives you best-in-class torque, best-in-class payload, and you got it, baby, best-in-class towing. This is the big dog. This is the Ford F-150. It doesn't just raise the bar, pal. It is the bar.
Now get 0% financing for 72 months on a new 2018 F-150 at your Oklahoma Ford dealer today.
Well, the Yellow Jackets, they got exactly what they needed. A stop on defense and a touchdown. Zane Coleman on the receiving end of the touchdown pass from Thad Williams. And with 2:02 left to go here in the third quarter, Stillwater still on top. They lead it by 2 scores, 28-14.
I think Choctaw's really started to change up their play calling here in the second half, and it's making for a more interesting half of football. We saw that first possession out there. They got that touchdown, second quarter scoreless, and now in the third quarter, they find the end zone again, and this time kind of switching up what plays they're running, and it's making it a little bit harder for Stillwater's defense to stop them. And coming into this game, I thought we'd see 6 touchdowns combined, and with that last one, we've seen 6.
Right on the money. Kickoff coming from the Yellow Jackets. As he approaches and kicks it to about the 18-yard line, bobbled, picked up, and the return is on. He's going to get it out to the 34, close to the 35-yard line, and that's where the Pioneers will have it, 1st and 10.
I'm kind of surprised he didn't lose it anywhere else on that run. It looked like the whole time he was losing it.
So they'll spot it right at the 34-yard line. 1st and 10 for the Pioneers. We're just under 2 minutes to play in our contest. Wide receiver goes top of your screen. Number 13 for Stillwater is Stephen Brown. Walker with the running play, straight ahead. He doesn't try to fool too many people, does he?
No, he's the go-through-you kind of running back, and I think it was a great job there by Deshaun Moore on the defense for Choctaw. Just stay low and put your shoulder pads into him. He does a good job of standing his ground. It's not easy to do when you got Quantrell Walker coming at you.
Picked up 4 on the carry. That'll bring up a 2nd down and 6 situation for the Pioneers.
One thing that's really interesting is the other day I was walking to class. I'm walking behind Pledger, one of the backup running backs there for OU. One thing you don't really realize is, these running backs are short in stature. I think all their weight is in their legs, man. You look at his calves, and they were just crazy big.
Here's a complete pass to the far side. Anthony Bland once again. He's having a huge night for Stillwater. Again, when we look at his numbers coming in through 5 games, 23 receptions, 468 yards. And he's got to be close to double digits receptions and well over 100 yards receiving.
Yeah, you had the stats for last game. I think it was 6 catches, 114.
Yeah.
Yeah, so 6 catches, 114 last week, and I think he may end up doubling that here tonight.
Yeah, he's had a big night, no doubt about it. Gundy turns and gives to Walker, straight ahead, inside the 35, down to the 34-yard line. Winding down, final seconds of this third quarter of play, unless it's an incomplete pass or a penalty. We'll probably have this snap and one more, or maybe just this one.
One thing I think is Choctaw has done a great job of getting pressure on Gundy, and when they do get that pressure there, I think it really flusters Gunner, and it makes it hard for him to find his targets because he's so focused on what's going on in front of him. And so I think when Choctaw gets into the backfield, it really is the best thing that their defense can get. And so they need to get back there as soon as possible and as much as possible.
Encroachment the call against Choctaw. It was 2nd and 7. That'll make it 2nd down and 2. They were getting dangerously close to being delay of game. That's what I thought the call was at the very first.
We've seen a lot of encroachment penalties tonight, and I think if you're the defensive line, at least the defensive line coach, you've definitely got to oh, there's another one. You got to strain it to these guys. Listen, you've got to play with your eyes, because if you're hearing the quarterback say hut, it doesn't mean the ball's moving. You've got to watch that center, watch the football, and see when it moves. You've got to do it with your eyes, almost like you're deaf. You've just got to see. There's no hearing. If you hear the quarterback, can't go for it. Watch the football.
So that'll be enough to give them a first down, and then they'll restart the clock, and it will end the third quarter of play. We're headed to the fourth. Stillwater still on top. They lead Choctaw 28-14 on your Oklahoma Ford Dealers Game of the Week.
Weoki's new money certificate rates are incredible. Transfer money from another institution to a Weoki 35-month certificate and receive 3.05 APY. Yes, that's over 3%. And get a $100 cash bonus for new CD amounts of $100,000 and greater. Open your certificate with new money at Weoki and start earning incredible rates. Federally insured, rate and bonus are for new money only. Other terms and limitations apply. Contact Weoki for details.
No one thinks about their water heater until it fails.
At that point, you have a huge mess on your hands with water damage everywhere.
A planned water heater replacement can save you a lot of trouble.
Right now, you can save big on a new high-efficiency water heater.
Call Airco Service,
the company you know.
Welcome back, everybody, as we move to the fourth quarter. 28-14. Again, recapping, both teams scored on their very first possession. It was 7-7. And then Stillwater owned the rest of the first half, really the entire second quarter of play, and led it at the intermission 28-7. Yellow Jackets have bounced back with a touchdown to make it 28-14. And now they're on defense trying to keep Stillwater away from scoring again, because a 3-touchdown advantage as we head into the fourth quarter would be huge for the Pioneers. Gundy back to throw. You know where he's going. Bland is out there, but the pass is a little too far. Might have got tied up with the defender back there. No flag. Incomplete, and it will be 2nd and 10.
Well, you say no flag, and I've mentioned it a few times to you. It seems like these refs are going to let them play. We've seen a lot of offsides and a lot of false starts, but other than those two calls, I can't say that we've seen a lot of pass interference or a lot of, illegal use of hands or anything like that. It's really been a clean game, or just the refs are saying, hey, go out there and play football tonight, boys.
Good look at the crowd on hand here tonight. Bill Jensen Field at Choctaw. Second down and 10. Handoff. Walker bursts through a huge hole, and he's going to get in the end zone virtually untouched.
You're in a wide open hole for Stillwater's running back, Quantrell Walker there. I mean, they may have just given him the yellow brick road for him to find the end zone because it was just a little bit too easy there. He had a straight path to find pay dirt, an easy 6 points for Stillwater. That'll expand their lead up to 34-14.
They might have got a hand on him, but that would be about it. As great blocking by the interior lineman and then the downfield blocking that enables him to get into the end zone for the touchdown.
Yeah, they may have been able to bring him down in two-touch football, but tackle football, that's not going to get it done. Somebody's got to get in front of him and bring him down.
Special teams on for the extra point attempt. As Dylan said, now at 34-14, trying to make it a 3-touchdown advantage for the Pioneers. We're just underway here in this fourth quarter of action.
I kind of wonder if that would have happened or not, whether if Choctaw hadn't gotten those 2 offside penalties. They got 2 in a row and gave Stillwater 10 yards. I wonder if that same play would have ended up happening or not.
Yeah, it probably changes the whole call and everything.
Oh, man. That wasn't even near the snap.
Good job by the holder. He got it down, and they got the kick up and through. He had to reach all the way around to the front part of his right hip to get that ball down. He does it, and Stillwater goes on top. They lead it by 21, 35-14. We'll be back.
During Ford SUV season, find out why more people come back to Ford than any other brand. Here's a reason.
We've got room.
And here's another.
Waze says it's faster to take the side streets.
Perfect.
And by the way, Ford has won more J.D. Power Initial Quality Awards than any other brand. During Ford SUV season, get 0% for 72 months plus $1,000 bonus cash on Escape, Edge, and Explorer. See your Oklahoma Ford dealer today.
Well, the Pioneers find pay dirt once again. Quantrell Walker. You mentioned it. I think we've only mentioned 3 names on offense, aside from the guys up front doing a great job and providing the holes and the protection. It's been Gundy and Bland and Walker for Stillwater, and they've put their teammates out in front by a score of 35-14.
It's like the Steelers have been over the last few years. It's all about Big Ben, Le'Veon Bell, and Antonio Brown. Those were the 3 names you always hear, just play after play after play, those 3 names. Same thing here for Stillwater. It's just play after play. You hear the same 3 names, Gundy, Walker, and Bland.
It's a good analogy. You're right on target with that. Ball at the 35 or 25-yard line. There must have been another penalty after all was said and done. Yeah, I was going to say, it looked like he went to his knees to make the catch on that kickoff. That's what the referee said right there at the 24-yard line. And that's where the Yellow Jackets will put it back in play. Trailing now by 3 touchdowns, 35-14.
Well, the one thing that I can say is a positive for Choctaw is this offense has looked rejuvenated as they came out of the halftime break. A few different play calls has gotten them to where they scored a touchdown last time out, and so they'll see if they can get back-to-back scores here. Of course, Stillwater's not made it easy tonight, and they've gotten a few too many takeaways for Choctaw's liking, but we'll see if this possession plays out in Choctaw's favor.
Blake Muse gets the handoff, and he's going to pick up about 2 yards. Not much there. Good to see Isaiah Sumlin, number 49, back in there. He had been suffering from some cramps a little earlier. They give him 2 on the carry, so 2nd down and 8. Williams, quick toss to the outside. They get it to Sumlin, and Sumlin goes along the far sideline. He's going to get it out to about the 39-yard line, and that'll be enough for the 1st down and then some.
Yeah, great job getting some yak. That's the big stat that everybody talks about is the yak, yards after catch. Gets the ball and then takes off down that left side. Picks up, I want to say, about 15 yards just after the catch.
So Yellow Jackets trying to put together a drive. Handoff here, and good job of that Stillwater defense as Muse has nowhere to go, nowhere to run, nowhere to hide.
Yeah, 3 Stillwater Pioneers are all on top of Blake Muse as he's trying to pick up a good gain there, but it's a mute point whenever you've got 3 guys on you.
So 2nd down and 8. Williams, the quarterback, gets a man in motion to the top of your screen. Passes there, complete, and Stillwater is having none of it. Nice tackle on the play by number 44, Winston Watkins, your player to watch. He gets up a little slowly, but nice tackle on the play. The receiver on the play was number 83, Cade Sanford. And if anything, they lost a yard or 2.
I can tell you one thing, without even seeing him, I can tell you the Stillwater defensive coordinator was down there clapping and shouting, and he was excited because that's 2 straight plays that Choctaw's gotten almost nowhere, and Stillwater setting up a long 3rd down here for the Yellow Jackets.
Choctaw, Matthews tried to step up in the pocket. A pile moves forward, but not much else. And they're going to be well short of the necessary yardage for the 1st down.
Oh man, 48, Josh Norris thought it was he was getting ready to get rid of that football, and he jumped up to swat it. Man, he was high up there. I mean, that's a vertical for you right there. I don't know if you can go back and watch that. That was a great jump at the football there. If you have the rewind option, you can go back and look at it.
4th down situation.
Last time we saw this, it was a weird play that played out for Zane Coleman.
He's back there again, kind of rugby, runs it to the right and then gets rid of it in good time. It's going to be a great punt. This one's going to roll inside the 5-yard line down to about the 4. That's about as good as you can get it right there. Long punt. And terrible field position for Stillwater, but they still lead by 3 touchdowns with 9:17 to play.
Punter's the type of player that nobody truly appreciates until he makes a punt like that. And then everybody says, hey man, great job. You know, and then he gets the pats on the back, pats on the butt, pats on the helmet, wherever it is. And now you see Stillwater set up at just about the 5-yard line. And Choctaw has a chance to really make a big play here. Like I mentioned before, anytime they get pressure back there in the backfield, Gundy has been flustered. And so if Choctaw can find their way into the backfield, it would definitely set up the Yellow Jackets well here for 2nd and 3rd down.
And looked like some movement up front again. Linemen were pulling back, misread the snap count, or the defense had already jumped across. Get the call from our White Hats, and he said it's going to be illegal procedure against Stillwater. So that'll march them back even further. And let's be honest, we're at a point now, down by 3 touchdowns, 9 minutes left to go. Choctaw needs a stop. It doesn't necessarily have to be, 3 and out, but they need the football back in a hurry, and they need good field position.
I think if Choctaw doesn't score within the next minute and a half, we'll say, I think they're definitely going to end up with a huge uphill battle.
Running play. Did he get out of the end zone? I don't know that he did.
I think they're going to probably say that he did.
Nope, they're going to call it a safety. So Walker is gang tackled in the end zone, loses his helmet, and it's going to be 2 points for the Yellow Jackets, plus they're going to get the football, and now another flag comes out, and they're trying to prevent Walker from getting kicked out of the game. One of his linemen lifts him off of his feet and is escorting him to the sidelines, number 67, Sam Smith.
Yeah, I was going to say, hey, you nightclubs out there, you guys might have a new bouncer in number 67 right there. He just picked up Quantrell Walker, who's 190 pounds. That's a big kid, and just took him out. And I think what Quantrell Walker was complaining about was the face mask. It looked like right there his helmet kind of got tugged, and you can tell because his helmet came off. So right there, somebody had to have made contact with his head, and I think he's complaining about somebody yanking on his face mask. And nonetheless, they give him the safety. And here you see Barnard out to talk with the refs about it.
Take a look at the replay once again. Watch the running back here in the back.
And watch his head.
Helmet. Okay.
Yeah, see right there, you can kind of see it's cocked to the side. So somebody's definitely got a hand on a face mask.
Yeah, because I was frankly surprised that, seeing what we have of Walker, that they could stop him for no gain on the play. But when you have your head jerked around like that by the face mask, of course the body is going to follow. And they were able to get him in the end zone. And that's going to be something, if you had replay at the next level or the level beyond that, they would overturn all that. But of course at the high school level where you don't have that, I don't know that I want to see that. As much problems as we've seen with the collegiate game and the pro game on Sundays.
Yeah, I think definitely Stillwater's got an argument to make there. Excuse me. And referees are definitely going to have to keep that in mind and watch for, how high Choctaw's hands are getting. We mentioned earlier, not many, penalties against, face mask, hands to the face, none of that. Right there would have been our first one. Nonetheless, it goes uncalled. Quantrell Walker was definitely upset enough that he was called for unsportsmanlike conduct, as he obviously said something to the referees that you probably wouldn't say to your mother.
So 35-16. And now Stillwater will have to kick it away from their own 20-yard line. But it looks as though, since the penalty has been called against Stillwater, they'll have to kick it away from their own 10, which should give Choctaw ideal field position to at least give them the opportunity to get back in this contest.
Yes, they're still going to allow him to set it up on a tee.
Yeah, he has that option after the safety. So let's see what happens here. Again, 9:07 left to play. Pioneers on top, 35-16. Waiting for the referee to blow the whistle, and here we go. After the safety for Choctaw, kick is going to travel out of bounds. It went out at about the 42-yard line. And I'm not going to hazard a guess as to where this ball is going to be put after a safety. That the ensuing kick goes out of bounds.
Well, and Choctaw's definitely getting the luck of the draw right now. They're getting dealt a good hand by Stillwater. Stillwater's almost trying to assist them a little bit, and Choctaw needs to take advantage here. I think if they get a score within the next minute or so, it's definitely going to be a interesting ball game from that point on, but they've got to get a quick score, and if they don't, it could spell trouble for the Yellow Jackets. The only thing I can say is we haven't seen Choctaw really take a shot yet. It's been all screen passes, runs, or short passes. I haven't seen them really go for a pass much further than maybe 7-8 yards. And so we'll see if Choctaw ever sits back and lets one go.
So the line of scrimmage is the 35 in Stillwater territory. I have no explanation for that. Here's a pass out to the far side. Complete, retreats his steps. Gabe Johnson does. And I don't know if he even got positive yardage on that play or not. They kicked it from the 10. It went out of bounds in Choctaw territory and ended up at the 35.
Yeah, it went out at about the 42 or so.
But on the other side of the 50.
Yeah.
I have no...
Yeah, I'm not a referee, and I'm not going to pretend to be, so I'm just going to go along with it and keep calling the game.
Here's a pass to the near side. Gabe Johnson once again trying to make some guys miss. He's going to get close to the 35-yard line.
Got some more yellow laundry on the field right there along the sideline, I believe.
Well, I even made the comment earlier during a timeout to you that, well, at least we haven't seen the number of flags this week that we've seen in some of the other weeks. We're quickly gaining ground.
Yeah, they waited till the fourth quarter. They heard you and they said, "We got you, Steve. Give you a fourth quarter full of flags."
Face mask called against the offense.
Well, I guess they're gonna be looking for it now that Barnard's probably laid into him about it, and certainly Quantrell Walker laid into him about it. So definitely going to keep their eyes for high hands from Choctaw, and I guess that's the call here. It's just a hands a little bit too high up there and getting on the face mask of one of the Pioneers.
All right, so here we go. 2nd down and 17 from the Stillwater 42-yard line. Williams checks the sidelines, changes the call at the line of scrimmage. Here comes the rush. Williams with the throw. He's got a receiver downfield and
oh man,
broken up and great. It was just a wee bit underthrown and then broken up out there by Lovitz.
I still think he could have had that. He had both hands touch it, just couldn't end up with it. He looked like he had caught the ball pretty much and then kept running and didn't have like a full possession of it yet. And so it just kind of almost like the momentum of his hands like slipped out from under the ball. And so I'm not a physics major, but I mean that's kind of what I saw there.
3rd and 17 now for Choctaw. Incomplete pass. Clock stopped with 8:40 left to go in our contest. 35-16. Muse goes in motion, catches the swing pass on the far side of the field, gets a block, cuts it back towards the middle, and he'll get some nice yardage all the way down to about the 32-yard line.
That was a crucial block from Cade Sanford. That 3 trips out there on that left side. Screen pass goes out. Sanford's the center man of the trips. It looked like one of the defensive backs came in with some momentum and ran straight into Sanford, who set up a good block. And right there, I believe that'll be an unsportsmanlike conduct on number 5 of Stillwater. It looked like he was saying something to the ref that was, at the end of the day, throwing the yellow flag.
Just lack of discipline there. You can tell his teammates are not very happy with him.
Well, and again, I think Stillwater's really been assisting Choctaw here. I mean, they've just been making it almost easy for them to get back into this game, giving them all the right tools to do it. Choctaw's just got to find the offensive touch and then get another stop on the defensive end, and they could make this a very, very interesting game as the game clock ticks away.
Well, it was going to be a 4th and 7 if I'm not mistaken. This easily makes it a 1st down.
Yeah, unsportsmanlike isn't a good penalty to get, especially on a play like that where it's 4th and 7. And a 15-yarder puts them inside the red zone. Choctaw's really got a chance to put one into the end zone here.
All right, so back to the action. New set of downs, 1st and 10 for the Yellow Jackets. And motion in the backfield. Here comes the flag, and hold on. Muse is able to squirt forward, get some good yardage, but this one's coming back. Williams is wanting to know why, but he didn't see what was going on behind him, as Muse had already taken a step or two.
And again, we still see Stillwater doing this standing up attack, and the defensive line isn't really putting their hand in the dirt as much as other teams have them do. For other teams, it's all game long. Everybody's got their hands in the dirt on the defensive line, and this defensive line keeps standing up and getting kind of a running start at it. It's kind of an interesting way of going about it.
Here's Muse with a run to the left side, falls forward to about the 19-yard line. And the clock goes under 8 minutes left to go in our ball game here tonight. Nobody jumps, so Williams looks to the far side, resets the play. Stillwater's defense backs up, gets a running start. Handoff up the middle. Deshaun Moore
The only thing that's kind of interesting to me is going with a running play call. The time continues to tick away, and maybe Choctaw's not too concerned with it for whatever reason it may be, but they do need to, at some point, hit this realization that that clock is slipping away from them, and time is just as much of an enemy as Stillwater's defense is here.
Yeah, I was going to say, it's not their friend at the moment. And another whistle and another flag. And a timeout taken by Stillwater on defense. We've got 6:57 left to play. Pioneers on top of the Yellow Jackets, 35-16 our score.
During Ford SUV season, find out why more people come back to Ford than any other brand. Here's a reason.
We've got room.
And here's another.
Waze says it's faster to take the side streets.
Perfect.
And by the way, Ford has won more J.D. Power Initial Quality Awards than any other brand. During Ford SUV season, get 0% for 72 months plus $1,000 bonus cash on Escape, Edge, and Explorer. See your Oklahoma Ford dealer today.
Welcome back, everybody. We've got 6:57 left to go here. It reminds me that I was instructed to tell everybody about the vote for what game you want to see on the TV side of things next week. And that leaves your choices there. You can go to YurView.com. That's YurView.com/Oklahoma, Carl Albert and Guthrie, Yukon and Westmore, and Broken Arrow and Edmond Santa Fe. Go there and vote right now. Quarterback draw. Williams takes it and gets it down to about the 16-yard line. As you mentioned, Dylan, they need to make some things happen here in a pretty quick fashion.
Yeah, and I don't know if they're going to be able to do it. Now it's 4th and 9. Long 4th down, and man, their offense has run out of luck, it seems like, here late in the fourth quarter, or midway through the fourth quarter, I should say. Stillwater's defense is finding out what is going on the other side of the ball, and they are getting to the football quickly.
And they'll take another timeout and talk about it. Got any score updates for us?
I can see if I can find some.
See if you can find something there and let us know what may or may not be happening in the wonderful world of football here on another fall Friday evening. Hard to believe we're already into week 6 of the high school football season. As Mr. Rivera checks out to see if he can find any scores for us here tonight on games going on throughout the entire state of Oklahoma. 35-16 our score here, as Stillwater on top of Choctaw, trying to really cement that grip on the District 1 standings. This would put them at 3-0. Del City was 2-0 going into action tonight.
I can't seem to pull up any scores except for one of them, and that's Lawton and Putnam City West. That one is 42-21 right now. Lawton is up by 21 points, and that one is very close to reaching the end of the game.
This might be the end of the game here for Choctaw. They need to convert on a 4th and 9 situation. Pass to the far side complete. Runs over the defender, and that should be enough to get him the first down and keep the drive alive for the Yellow Jackets. Big hit on that far side, getting it all the way inside the 10, down at about the 5-yard line.
Look like the Oklahoma drill right there. You pin up a one runner against one tackler, and you just have them go at each other, and that's what happened right there. They both met up right there around the 8-yard line or so. Both of them put their shoulders down low. Running back just gets a little bit more momentum and picks up another yard or two and is able to find the first down.
Another running play getting into the end zone. Did he make it? Waiting for the official signal.
I think he fell just short, yeah about a yard short.
Spot him down at about the 1-yard line. Clock goes on under 6 minutes now to play. Handoff, right side. Muse into the end zone. touchdown for the Yellow Jackets. They're still got life.
Well, I'm happy that Choctaw scored, but the thing I think is it was a little bit too late. They've got to move as quickly as possible, and right here, it took them almost 3.5 minutes to find the end zone, and that's very costly as the game is ticking away from them. Now they may be able to get up to 23 or 24 if they decide to go for 2, but they're still down by 2 scores, and it's only 5.5 minutes to go almost. And so they've got to work quickly, and I didn't see very much urgency on this last possession. Nonetheless, a very good run by Muse, some great blocking, and he finds the end zone.
So he does get in, and they go for 2, which I'm not real sure. I guess they went for 2 in case Stillwater were to kick a field goal. They could still tie it up with 2 8-point touchdown plays. But as it stands right now, Yellow Jackets have fought back. They trail by 13 with 5:52 to play. We'll be back.
Tulsa Tech's our primary source of training. From specialized machining to leadership training, there's definitely a technology gap between the actual working of the machines and the talent pool of people able to operate these machines. The more that we can educate ourselves, our employees, the better off that we are to serve our customers. Tulsa Tech has programs for your whole organization to learn. No matter what size your company is, Tulsa Tech can help.
Welcome back, everybody. Your Oklahoma Ford Dealers Game of the Week. Number 1, Stillwater leading Choctaw. 35-22 is our score. We've got 5 minutes and 52 seconds remaining. If you're Choctaw, it's probably not too early to think about onside kick here, because you need 2 touchdowns just to get to where, if you hold Stillwater from scoring at all, that you could win the game. If Stillwater does come up with a field goal, it would be a tie game with 2 made 2-point conversions. They'll go ahead and kick it away. High kick, taking it about the 5-yard line.
Not quite sure why they stopped the play there.
Did he call for a fair catch?
I didn't see.
It's a kickoff.
I'm not sure what happened there.
I have no explanation.
Well, it seems to have happened a few more times tonight than usual, is where we are just left in awe of what these refs are coming out with. Right here, once again, we are...
It was a loose football.
We are left speechless.
You can't... Oh, okay. Running play. Turns out to be a passing play. Gundy underneath. Had it to Bland, or to number 6 for Stillwater. That's Jack Smithton. And then he lost it. And the clock stopped with 5:43 to play.
Take a look at that. It's like seeing a unicorn. Gundy threw the ball to somebody other than Bland. I mean, but it's been all night. He's going to Bland. And I think that's maybe first or second time he's gone to somebody else.
So the clock stopped. Stillwater pinned deep in their own territory. Running play up the middle. Nice hole, but stuck. But keeping his feet driving forward, taking it out to about the 13-yard line. Still going to bring up 3rd down.
I gotta tell you, I like the way Deshaun Moore plays defense. I always talk about I like seeing those players wrap up. He's done a great job all night long of being in the gap, getting low, and making the hit. He's not trying to make these highlight plays where he's just throwing his shoulder into him or knocking him over. He does a great job of doing a textbook tackle, and that's one thing that I know his coaches are probably really happy with.
3rd down and 5. Gunnar Gundy, the quarterback, looking and dropped in the backfield. Good job by the Choctaw defense getting in there and making the stop. I believe it was number 12 on the blitz.
Cole Smith. Yeah, great job getting the pressure around the edge. That was off the left tackle, and that's usually the blindside job. But on this offensive line, the right tackle plays that blindside position, and so Gundy saw it coming, I got to think at least. I think his reaction was just a little bit too late, and able to find him in the backfield for a good hit was Cole Smith.
So we've got offsetting penalties on the play. They'll spot the ball at the 13-yard line. Both teams looking to their respective sidelines on instruction on what to call or what play to call now. Gundy from the shotgun drops to throw. Looking again to this side to Bland. The pass is complete and another flag is thrown.
That should be on the defense. I think Gabe Johnson was a little bit too handsy with Bland there, trying to get the stop. And had his hands on him before the pass made it to Bland. So I'd imagine Gabe Johnson's going to get called for a pass interference here.
So a referee who's been a busy man here in this second half. Going back to midfield. It's going to be a defensive pass interference, as you said, Dylan. Clock stopped, 4:38 left to play. And now they'll mark it off from the original line of scrimmage. And they'll spot the ball at the 28-yard line. So 1st and 10 now for the Pioneers, just trying to survive this penalty-laden finish to this ball game and get their record to 6-0 on the season, and just wind the clock down with 4:38 left to play. Running play straight ahead, across the 30 to the 32, and still fighting. And then another flag comes in.
You know, earlier on I was mentioning how it seemed like these refs were just letting them play football, and as the game has gone on, we've just seen flag after flag. And it's getting to the point where, oh man, it's tough to watch.
See what the call is from our referee for this evening, and he says it's going to be a personal foul against Stillwater. If anything, I thought maybe Choctaw was a little overzealous in trying to get the ball out and maybe grabbed a face mask or anything, but now we're going to march it back the other way. Referee telling the guys, get out of the way, I got some more marching to do. He's going to take it all the way down to the 15-yard line. You can see the coaching staff for Stillwater here on the near side is kind of jawing with the official here on the near side of the field. All right, so here we go. I think we've got a 1st and 20 with 4:26 left to play. Line of scrimmage at the 17, 18-yard line. As Gundy drops to throw. Throws it out to the far side, looking for Bland once again, overshoots his target, and it's incomplete.
Yeah, I think it was just a little bit too far out there. No way Bland could have gotten to that one. He would have had to have the same powers as Mr. Fantastic if he was going to catch those ones.
Who knows? He's made some great plays already tonight. So that play took several seconds off the clock. Looking at a 3rd down and 17 now with 4:14 to play. And the Pioneers coming back to the line of scrimmage. Quarterback Gunnar Gundy dropping the throw. He's going to go down the middle this time, and he's got a wide receiver wide open. Big catch and another first down. Reception made out there by Jack Smithton.
How about that? Finding Smithton instead of Bland on the long fly route. A great pass from Gundy, finds the deep ball. And Smithton does a good job of beating out the coverage just in a foot race with his guys. And he outruns both of them. Was able to find some green grass out in front of him, and Gundy lays it out there in that area where only he can get it. And Gundy does a good job of throwing some fairly accurate passes, but then every now and then, with inconsistency, he'll throw one that's just way off target.
So that's a big play there. That gives him a new set of downs to work with no apparent hurry necessary, leading by 13. Running play. And driven out of bounds there. Running play, the handoff going to number 81, Cal Tracy. Wide receiver on the roster.
And I think if I'm Stillwater, I'd probably be running the football here and trying to let that clock tick away and making Choctaw have to sit there and watch as your offense stays out on the field, as they are slowly running out of time and falling out of this game very quickly. But Stillwater fairly persistent on throwing the football.
So here we go with a man in motion. Handoff, left side. Again, it's Tracy. He is driven down just as he crosses the 30-yard line. They're going to say that they stopped him at the 30. As we go under 3 minutes left to play.
Well, tomorrow's the big game, Steve. OU versus Texas. We got the Red River rivalry. Tomorrow. That's a fun one to watch all the time. I mean, it's one of the, I think, one of the biggest rivalries in the nation for sure.
Absolutely, and a great game, and we had a lot of fun talking about it on the radio today, and getting a lot of the old timers in there for some interviews and their thoughts on the game. Pass to the far side to Bland. He had it, lost it, could not control it. The pass goes incomplete. So who are you taking tomorrow?
I'm taking the Sooners. I think OU's going to get the win. I don't think Texas has enough to pull off the upset. I think I'm going to say probably about a 4-touchdown win for the Sooners, which in reality is usually a small difference for a Sooner game, but to me it seems like Texas usually has OU's number for some reason, and I think it'll end up being a 28-point difference, which is still a good win at the end of the day.
A lot of people say you throw the records out the window in that matchup, and even when a team is ranked going against a team that looks like they're down somehow, some way, it always turns out to be an interesting contest.
And up in Stillwater this weekend, it'll be the Cowboys versus the Cyclones. Iowa State will journey to Stillwater.
I don't think Montgomery's going to play in that game, though, is he? I know he's a little banged up. Maybe he was iffy or questionable.
I don't know. I haven't really read up on the pregame report on that one yet.
After the penalty, Stillwater has the ball at the 15-yard line in Choctaw territory. Gundy, running play up the middle to Tracy. Gets inside the 5 and into the end zone for the touchdown.
That's some power running right there. Put your shoulder into him, young man, and get to the end zone. Number 81, Tracy, finding pay dirt for Stillwater. And I think that one will officially put a stamp on this one. And Stillwater will stay undefeated, finding a win here against the Yellow Jackets.
Don't know if Quantrell Walker was removed by the coaches or by the officials in the contest, because it was all Tracy on that entire drive running the football.
Not only that, but it looks like Tracy will be the snap holder.
Here is the snap. Kick is away. It is up, and it is good. We've got 2:24 left to play. The Pioneers seemingly have put this one well in hand as they lead Choctaw by a score of 42-22. We'll take a timeout and come back with the kickoff.
Tulsa Tech has really helped me build my future. Woodworking is my passion. I've always wanted to be a carpenter. The carpentry programs are a great program to get into. The teacher's fantastic. He teaches us about quality, and no matter what you do, you need to have pride and integrity in your work. The facilities here are state-of-the-art. All the tools here are the best of the best. This class has been a great opportunity for me. It's one of my favorite classes ever. We've so much fun, best 3 hours of my day. Tulsa Tech has really helped me make my own path in so many ways.
Back here at Choctaw, the visiting Pioneers, the #1 team in the state in Class 6A2, are showing exactly why, as they have done it with a steady job of offense, mixing in the running game when needed, but for the most part it's been Gunnar Gundy going to Anthony Bland tonight. Quantrell Walker had a good game up until his removal here, and then Cal Tracy took over running the football and getting into the end zone for that last touchdown for the Pioneers. 2:24 left to play as they approach the ball and kick it away. Bobbled again at about the 16-yard line. Gabe Johnson fighting across the 20 to about the 23, and that's where the Yellow Jackets will put it in play, 1st and 10.
Well, see, now why is that one different than the last one?
Boy, you got me. I have no idea.
I mean, the last one,
but
obviously,
I will find out.
He hadn't touched it yet, and it was bouncing around, and then he catches it, and then ref says, stop. The ball's right here.
I do not know.
This one, he touches the ball, and it hits the dirt for a little bit. Then he picks it up. The ref says, all right, that's fine.
There's probably a referee screaming at the both of us over something that we obviously don't know. I don't have any messages on my phone. That's usually a good starting place.
I'm sure somebody will contact me and tell me where I'm wrong, but as of right now, I don't know where I am, because I think the refs are out of their mind.
There's a pass to the far side of the field intended for Coleman, incomplete. Choctaw players are pointing and offering their case as to why he was maybe interfered with, but don't see any laundry on the floor, on the field.
All right, not only that, I think maybe they wanted a little bit of an unsportsmanlike conduct as he kind of stood over him and then kind of dragged that leg over and kind of did that step over like Allen Iverson, you know.
Little taunt there. Pass, far side complete, trying to keep him in bounds, and they do. Short gain on the play as we go under 2 minutes left to go in this contest.
Well, in all honesty, I think this has been a very good game. First quarter through third quarter was definitely a lot more fun than the last one. But all around a great game. Both teams can walk away looking at some positives and looking at some negatives and say, hey, we got to improve on this if we're going to be a real serious contender. Or, you know, look at it and say, hey, you know, these things we did really well. Let's keep building off of those things.
Pass far side. He was just a couple yards away and fired that pass. Goes off the fingertips of the intended wide receiver, Deshaun Moore. Pass goes incomplete, and that'll bring up a 4th down and 9 situation. So let's see what the Yellow Jackets can come up with here. Fourth down and 9, minute 27 left to play. Thad Williams, your quarterback. Muse in the backfield. Williams going down the middle this time. Was trying to hook up with Gabe Johnson. And the pass is knocked down incomplete. And so Stillwater now can pretty much just kneel it down a couple times and call it a night.
Well, I also thought they should have ran the football a lot more in the last possession, but I saw them air it out quite a bit. So we'll see if they actually do set up the victory formation or if they try to get some more yardage out of this.
No reason to get any more plus or minus points. Again, the maximum that you can receive is 15, so they've already reached that point. And here comes the Pioneer offense with just a minute 22 left to go in the ball game. We'll see a lot of people there in the background making their way for the exits here tonight. They were hoping to see an upset of the number 1 team, but Tucker Bernard's crew did a great job here tonight and seemingly securing the victory as the running play picks up a couple of yards and the clock continues to run.
Next week, Stillwater and Lawton will meet up, and I think that one will be one with big playoff implications, as Choctaw and Lawton are, in my opinion, 2 out of 3 teams that'll kind of be fighting it out for the last two or maybe even just 1 spot.
Yeah, Randy Bree stepped down as head coach for the Lawton High Wolverines. Had enjoyed visiting with him throughout the many years that Lawton has produced so many great football players in the state of Oklahoma. I mean, you go back to the old days, and Will Shields, who's in the Pro Football Hall of Fame now, went to Lawton High School. James Trapp was on that very same team back in the late 80s when I first arrived here. Dwell Brewer, of course, went on and played at the University of Oklahoma, and that's going to be the end of this contest here, as Stillwater's going to get the victory, and they're going to claim it by a final score of 42-22 over the Choctaw Yellow Jackets. We'll come back and we'll wrap up this contest here tonight on Your View. It's game time, brought to you by your Oklahoma Ford dealers. Game of the week.
During Ford SUV season, find out why more people come back to Ford than any other brand. Here's a reason.
We've got room.
And here's another.
Waze says it's faster to take the side streets.
Perfect.
And by the way, Ford has won more J.D. Power Initial Quality Awards than any other brand. During Ford SUV season, get 0% for 72 months plus $1,000 bonus cash on Escape, Edge, and Explorer. See your Oklahoma Ford dealer today.
Are you looking for a career where you can work anywhere and even travel the world? Do you have a passion to work with people, plan events, or own your own restaurant? Tulsa Tech can help you build a successful career with exciting hospitality programs. Programs like culinary arts, restaurant and lodging management, and event planning. Make your own path to a successful career you love by calling Tulsa Tech at 918-828-5000 or apply online at tulsatech.edu.
Weoki's new money certificate rates are incredible. Transfer money from another institution to a Weoki 35-month certificate and receive 3.05 APY. Yes, that's over 3%. And get a $100 cash bonus for new CD amounts of $100,000 and greater. Open your certificate with new money at Weoki and start earning incredible rates. Federally insured, rate and bonus are for new money only. Other terms and limitations apply. Contact Weoki for details.
Welcome back to Choctaw, everybody. Teams are making their way to the sidelines there to tell the student section, the fan section that made the trip from Stillwater, thank you very much for supporting the team as the Stillwater Pioneers get the victory tonight by a final score of 42-22. Pretty convincing win. Kind of went back and forth, at times, but in the end, Stillwater just too much on both sides of the football.
Well, coming into it, I thought Stillwater would get the win, but I didn't think it'd be by too much. And there for a little while, it looked like Stillwater was going to kind of run away with it. But Choctaw in the second half able to make it look like a more respectable score and make a little bit of a game out of it. And so credit to Choctaw for staying in it and not putting their head in their chest. And again, Stillwater a great showing and climb up to 6-0.
All right, let's take a look. It was 28-7 at halftime before Choctaw and is able to get back on the board, and this is the touchdown pass to Zane Coleman.
Yeah, we talked about it. Zane Coleman hadn't had a touch, and that was one of the interesting factors of Choctaw's offense was the fact that their leading wide receiver hadn't touched the ball yet, and then all of a sudden a slant route right down the middle, and he'll take that one to the end zone.
That made it 28-14, but of course Gunnar Gundy was not done for the night either as he hands off here, and a nice running play by your favorite running back and mine.
Quantrell Walker, an outstanding player, and he's only a sophomore, so he's definitely going to cause some dangerous plays as the years go by.
And then things got a little bit crazy in the ball game as you're going to watch here, a safety, and as you watch the running back kind of see that he was grabbed by the face mask and brought down in the end zone. And after that was over with, Then a personal foul was called against the Stillwater Pioneers. It was ruled a safety. They had to kick it from their own end of the field, and that made it 35-16. But Choctaw got even closer with the next touchdown that they were able to score, make it 35-23 here.
Yeah, and this one was an easy handoff to Muse, and he bounces that one to the right side. A lot of defenders get into the backfield, but nobody close enough to make it a good play on the ball. And so it's easy 6 for Choctaw.
And then Stillwater again hooking up with this time a pass as Gunnar Gundy drops the throw, and he goes downfield this time to Smithton.
Yeah, it was a great pass from Gundy, put it out in front of him, and all he had was green grass in front of him. So a good placed ball by Gundy, and I'm sure Dad's proud of that throw.
And then one more touchdown for the Pioneers to wrap up the scoring on the night as they get the touchdown. Here it is, Gundy once again. Actually, it's a running play as they give the ball to Tracy, and look at him bounce off would-be tacklers and getting into the end zone for the touchdown to secure the victory.
Yeah, you know, he's been in the weight room. That's what he was telling him right there. Get off me, you know, those kinds of things. You know, defense is all over him, but he won't go down, and he finds the end zone.
42-22, our final score as Stillwater defeats Choctaw. Don't forget to join us next week as we'll feature the game featuring Tecumseh and Hera. For Mark Jeffries, for Dylan Rivera, I'm Steve Marshall. We'll see you next week, everybody, on your Oklahoma Ford Dealers Game of the Week.